Talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Bell hammers high and deep to left center. Back it goes, and that ball is gone. Josh Bell breaks it wide open. A seventh-inning three-run homer, and the Twins have a commanding 7-1 lead.
Yeah, courtesy of Twins TV. I would say it's just like we expected, but like the Dean Kremer part was just like we expected. That was exactly what we thought he was going to do. Maybe not what should have been, frankly, a no-hitter, because the only hit was Jackson Holiday, the little dribbler. But we knew he was going to shove. Just a question of whether or not Trevor Rogers could be up to the task, and Trevor Rogers couldn't even.
I'm disappointed in myself. I should have known to add Dean in fantasy. I don't know why I didn't think to.
That is a mistake. Everyone knew that was coming.
I know.
Everyone knew that was coming. Orioles ultimately lose 9-5. After you turned it off, it got semi-interesting, but only semi. It was never like a threat of any sort. As they've now lost 3 of 4, actually 4 or 5, because you go back to the Angels series, but 3 or 4 on this road trip that we think is going to be pretty defining, and it's starting to be pretty defining. We're going to talk about the Orioles during the course of the morning, I promise. We will, not because we want to. There's not a whole lot to say. What do you want me to say? They're still not good? Because they're still not good. And any time that you think that anything, why do you want to show how they got their run?
I'm showing Dean's highlights.
Okay. Anytime you think that like one game could mean anything moving forward, you're reminded that it means nothing. It really is. That's baseball, Susan. A bad offensive team can put up 10 runs and then look incompetent against a mid-so-so pitcher the next time out. That's the story of the Orioles. If you think it means, well, maybe did they give up Dean Kremer too early? I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, like, Dean Kremer's been good. He has. The frustration, the burden really hasn't been like Dean Kremer. It's been the Orioles needing Dean Kremer to be more than he can be. That's the issue. The issue has been that they have asked of Dean Kremer to be a reliable starter, to be someone they can count on as like their third or so guy. That's not who he is. He's made 2 decent starts. Well, I mean, obviously, the first one was decent. Last one, the one last night was brilliant. He'll do that. He's a 5th, 6th starter. He's a guy, and look, one of the things we gave credit to the Orioles for this year was coming into the season, they weren't going to be relying on Dean Kremer. They had the ability to make him their 6th starter. The problem is that changed very quickly due to injury. But that was okay to me. It was okay that Dean Kremer be the guy that you go to when someone else gets hurt. You didn't want it to be, the first game of the season for Zach Eflin. And we know they had other problems in the construction of the rotation. But I was okay with Dean Kremer having that role. Yes, even in that role, he struggled for the Orioles this season. But that was the role I was okay with him having. I don't think Dean Kremer is going to look like that frequently. Now, he's thrown one-hitters before. It's not like we haven't seen a brilliant version of Dean Kremer before. We have. But you just can't rely on it. the Trevor Rogers part of the conversation is the other part, which is stop trying to convince yourself that the Orioles have an ace. A lot of people get very offended when they ever hear a national analyst say, well, the Orioles need, a legitimate ace. They say, well, pitching's not the problem. And, in context, starting pitching hasn't been the biggest problem this team has dealt with this season. Undoubtedly. The offense has been awful. The defense is an abomination. The bullpen lacks depth. It's a miracle they're as close to 500 as they are. The bar is so low that in context, the starting pitching is the strength of this team. And at times has been a strength. But it's a bunch of 2 or 3s. And you try to convince yourself when these guys have incredible stretches that, well, they might legitimately have a number one. They're not number ones. And the argument has been made that maybe you don't need a traditional number one in order to win a World Series. The Dodgers just decided they would have a boatload of number 2s, although Yamamoto is still probably better than anything the Orioles have had.
Well, they also have Glass now and Snell coming back.
I understand, but last year they won a World Series with their top starter being Yamamoto. Not a traditional number one. Well, that's in part because they've loaded everything else on the roster. If you want to have 30 to 35 quality major league players, then you probably can get away with not having a number one. But it does matter that the Orioles don't have that guy. And it doesn't mean that Trevor Rogers isn't good or that you don't want him around if you're capable of signing him. It's a reminder that signing Trevor Rogers, it's like telling me Shane Baz has number one stuff. Hey, Shane Baz has been very good. Is he an ace? Absolutely not. This team has needed an ace, has needed a stopper. They've needed a million other things, but they've needed that guy too. And they still need it if they're going to contend in 2027. If there's going to be a 2027. How many ifs can I put in this sentence? Is it their number one issue? I don't know how. I think I'd rank outfield first.
Defense is so bad. I mean, it's like
I hear you, but the guys are going to be the guys. The defense next year is going to be.
Westbrook comes back, I guess. Hopefully,
it's going to be Westbrook, Henderson, and Holiday next year. So you're not upgrading any of and Alonso. You know who the four are, unless somebody's not able to start the season, or unless they just decide now to trade one of those guys. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know what the value.
More ifs.
Yeah, lots of ifs. Outfield is number one, screaming at you number one. The concept of bats in general, maybe even when it becomes redundant. You do have a DH spot now available again after trading Adley Rutschman. Yes, Samuel Basallo is going to DH, if healthy, a good amount of times because he's not going to catch. I mean, Mike Elias basically told you that. If Mike Elias is still around, here's one more if. He basically told you he's not going to catch 120 games, so you're going to need that DH spot, but there's still going to be lots of DH at-bats available. So you can say another legitimate bat, if it's not an outfielder, could be in that mix. Ace and bullpen. Lots of needs. Good luck. They're going to keep playing baseball games this year. For better or for worse. And we're going to keep watching them because the hell else are we going to watch? I mean, we'll stop watching weekend games at some point because we'll be watching football instead, unless, again, something insane were to happen in the next couple of weeks.
Preseason football starts this week, right?
Right, so we'll stop watching when football games start in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, it started last week, yeah.
No, in a few weeks when football, although I get it, 7 million people watched Carson Beck and Kenny Pickett last week.
That's true. Yeah. You were one of them, I know.
At one point in the fourth quarter, I remember what I was watching on Thursday. Did the Orioles play on No, they played in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, they played at noon that day. Yeah, 12:30.
So I don't know what I would have been watching on Thursday, but at some point, whatever I was doing ended, and the Hall of Fame game was on, and I did see the final drive.
It's a good game.
Who the hell was that? Haynes King, the Georgia Tech quarterback?
Haynes King. Chris Collinsworth was he wasn't watching a snap of college football. I was like, who is this guy? Where did he come from?
I did see that. actually, which is I got to tell you, 3 more minutes of preseason football than I was intending to watch. God, I was very nervous that I was going to have to be involved more with the Ravens broadcast team this year on WBAL, which would have legitimately required me to have to watch preseason football.
Do your job, yeah.
Makes us dumber. It makes us dumber.
It doesn't. It's football.
It does. It makes us dumber because we
definitely
convince
football.
ourselves that we're seeing something that we're not seeing. Well, yeah, it's the way that it goes. Anyway, the moral of the story being the Orioles, bad. I mean, what do you want to say? We know that. We know the Orioles are bad because they're bad. They're back to 5 games under 500.
All the way to 3 games out of a playoff spot. Now it's insurmountable. Now it is, right? Now they're sellers.
I mean, sure. What do you want me to be angry about? Like, I'm just so tapped out. I'm so tapped out that it's hard for me to be angry.
Grant Wolfram, he stinks.
Yeah, but so does the rest of the bullpen. Like, who else do you want to have?
Rico Garcia.
Who was good? What's his face? Yarmiel Geraldo. You want to go?
Josh Walker got a strikeout.
Who came in first yesterday?
Rico.
No,
Wait, no.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot they pulled Rogers early.
Who came in the 5th? I can't even remember. That's the crazy part because he had 2 good innings.
Was it Geraldo?
Was it Geraldo?
Yeah,
I think it was Geraldo. I think it was.
So boom, there we go.
Yeah. That's who's good.
We're building our bullpen for 2027.
There's Yennier Cano and
No.
What?
It was Cam Sanders.
Oh, that's right. It was Cam Sanders, you son of a bitch. You hate Cam. You've never given Cam Sanders the respect
he's
he
pitched
deserves.
like in 2 games.
And he's been great. He's balled out, man.
Right, yes. He did so well. We could remember exactly.
I remembered.
Oh, you did. We both said, oh, it was
No, I
Geraldo.
didn't remember who was in the game, but I remember that he pitched well the last time we saw him. Yeah, we were
should have just left him keep going.
We were giving stolen.
There was not an error on there, so all those runs got charged to Rico Garcia. Why was that not an error on Narvaez? That he threw into the outfield.
It definitely should have been the next base.
All 4 runs were earned on Rico Garcia. He didn't get a single out, and he got 4 runs
mistake.
charged. Yeah, that does not seem right.
I mean, like he was almost certainly going to be safe no matter what. That's probably the bigger issue.
I guess
should
so,
Narvaez has even thrown the ball there. But yeah, the extra base unquestionably was on a throwing error. That's what are we doing here? Oh, we'll get to that later in the show. That's not the most bizarre rules scenario from baseball last night. Holy hell, was there a whopper in Toronto?
Okay.
Oh,
I did not watch
that. My God. What a whopper this was. We'll get to that later on in the program. But yeah, the Orioles lost. They're not a good baseball team. They got 1 hit, and it barely counts against Dean Kremer. Yay. They'll try again tonight. They won't have to face Dean Kremer. Today's show is brought to you by the print issue of Press Box. Only a few more days to get this one with Kevin Brown on the cover. And then it'll be gone to make room for a new print issue of Press Box with a football-themed cover. Get to your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. That print issue of Press Box is available now. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we'll talk more about the Jacoby Lane phenomenon with our buddy Qadry Ismail. But right now, it's great to catch up with an old friend, someone, of course, that we think of only from his time helping the Baltimore Ravens become Super Bowl champions. We don't think at all about his time as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. We pretend that never happened, frankly. But now he's dipping his toe a little bit further into the media waters. You know, he's been doing some TV the last few years, some various things. He's got a new show with a bunch of really smart football minds, including Trey Wingo. It's called Inside Football. It's a pleasure to welcome back to the program Coach Marvin Lewis, who is with us once again here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's always great to catch up with you. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Good morning. How's everybody there?
Everybody is great, man. We like the Orioles to be better, but other than that, we're all right. Marvin, Inside Football. Tom, this is quite the combination of minds that you guys have put together for this. Tell me about this project, why it's something that was interesting to you.
Well, it was. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head is being involved with Trey Wingo. I mean, he's so excellent at what he does. I've known Chris Carter for a long, long time. I've gotten to know Brian Urlacher, since he retired. I actually coached at New Mexico a little before Brian was there, but got to know him. And then Steve Keim, who was the GM here in Arizona. So I've known when he kind of came up through the scouting ranks and so forth. But it's been a lot of fun for us to talk football, to hear different points of view, and which is really cool. And Trey does a good job of, he's like the point guard,
Well, Marvin, I tell you what stood out to me is that, like, what you just listed, right? Defensive Hall of Famer, offensive Hall of Famer, a longtime successful coach, and like, it feels like it was purposeful to get like every possible perspective for every conversation that can come up.
Yeah, it really was. They did a good job of putting it together like that, and the addition of Brian kind of gave us the defensive point of view from obviously a Hall of Fame player and a great player, but also a really good person. And so that's been fun. And I think it also has given us really good access, I think, because the relationships everybody has within the National Football League.
I was going to say, is there anyone in the league that one of you wouldn't have a connection with somehow?
No, it was funny because the producer asked the other day, is anybody, we want to do somebody in the AFC North, I think, but I don't know if we're going to end up doing it. But how about anybody? I said, well, I think I can go to Cincinnati or Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So,
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it was pretty cool to, being with Trey, everybody recognizes him. And, I used to have some interactions with him when he was at ESPN and, sit down and do their stuff. But he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he's incredible. Trey's been a long time a friend of ours, too, so I love this. This is an incredible combination. The show is available as part of the Wingo Network. We're going to link it up on our Twitter account for you guys to be able to check it out, Inside Football with Coach Marvin Lewis. Coach, you mentioned, obviously, you guys were talking about doing the AFC North. I feel like it's ironic because we're talking about all of your former teams, but, like,
yeah.
the Ravens have been maybe the kings of the North for a prolonged period of time. The Steelers end up winning the division last year. And, of course, the Bengals are the Bengals, and that is Joe Burrow. And if he's healthy, we know they can score 45 points a game. Who should be? Like, when you look at this division, whose division is it to win going into the year?
Well, I think, obviously I think, kind of Baltimore. Between Baltimore and Cincinnati, it's a matter of who can play defense. I think both teams, if their quarterbacks are back and healthy, will be productive on offense. And but it's a matter of who can play enough defense to slow the other offense down. And with Cincinnati, they've added some good pieces on defense to do that. And so it makes a difference. Baltimore brings over, the rusher from Cincinnati. And, so I think every team tried to bolster, what they have. And new coach there and Jesse Minter there with the Ravens and his staff. So it'll be interesting. I think, I can't remember, Anthony Weaver, who played for the Ravens and has had great experience as a coach, both in Houston and the coordinator in Miami. He comes back to Baltimore excited to get the defense up and rolling.
You referenced, like, Jesse Minter. I think one of the conversations we're trying to have, Coach, is, like, can it just be that, like, a coach can just sprinkle pixie dust and fix something? Because, like, we saw before he arrived with the Chargers, that was not a good defense. He got there, and very quickly they were one of the best defenses in football. And I think a lot of people, not that the Seahawks were ever as bad defensively, but the impact of Mike McDonald in Seattle has been unquestionable. Like, is it possible? Hendrickson, to your point, adding him, it's massive. And the Ravens have needed that type of edge rusher since Terrell Suggs. But it is a coach like that capable of just coming in and saying, hey, it's largely the same pieces, but I can fix this?
Well, yeah, that's going to be his challenge. But what he's got to be able to do is deal with the personalities throughout, now on both sides of the football, all three phases, and being able to handle that. But backing it up just a bit, from what I've known Jesse since he was kind of coming up through, and it was father Rick.
Yeah.
And his dad was the head coach at UC when I went to Cincinnati, and who's a fine football coach. But fundamental, and that's what he learned from Mike McDonald. And that's what he was able to bring, to both when he went to Michigan with Jim, and then later on to the Chargers with Jim, to be able to bring the discipline of fundamentals and so forth. They don't want to be flashy, but they want to put a great fundamental product out there and then build upon that as you go. And so they really put together a strong foundation, which helps you through the rough parts of the season.
Marvin Lewis is with us here on GCR. Inside Football is his new show with the Wingo Network. Marvin, it's interesting because as we talk about Jesse Minter and what we've seen from early on and talking to everyone who's been around him, there's so much comparison to Mike McDonald, but not just because of where they've been and the side of the ball they've coached, but also their personality and their style. And as you're talking about dealing with the personalities, it's funny because we describe it as almost like a new school type of coaching mentality, but it's kind of similar to what I think of when I think of Marvin Lewis, right? Like, and not to say you were never intense, but like that I don't have to be in your face. I don't have to just be yelling for the sake of yelling, and I'm a little bit more willing to meet you where you are. How much do you feel like that style? We heard Marlon Humphrey talking about, how different it was the other day. How much do you feel like that style is imperative for coaching these types of players now in 2026?
Well, there's been a shift, the whole transfer rule in college and all that stuff was put in. So these guys come in and, they're not as committed and dedicated as they once were. And, now they've changed it, tightened it up a little bit. But if you looked at somebody cross-eyed, they're going to go across the street. Now, you obviously can't do that in pro sports.
Right.
But,
you can't transfer.
somewhat,
you can't hop in the portal.
Yeah. But they've been coddled a little bit. And so you got to be able to, you do have to be able to reach them. And that's the magnitude or the ability, the value of a coach is being able to reach inside the hard to reach and pull the best out of them. And, it takes skill, it takes time, patience. And then you got to put a staff together that has some of that quality. Some are great at X and O's. Some are great on the field. Some can do it all, and some can reach inside and pull the hard to reach, pull them further, pull them together and help them understand the value of being successful on a team is bigger than them being successful individually.
You have told us stories about, at least briefly, whether having to see the beginning of the Lamar Jackson career. Now this is your world, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what do you make of it, Mark? Like he was number 69 on the NFL Top 100 this year, and that's a player vote, and so we should maybe say, hey, well, it's their opinion. But like, what do you make of the continued questions that there are about Lamar Jackson, who, we already know a future Hall of Famer and one of the most dynamic players that's ever played the game?
Yeah, it is. He because of, I guess, the success that he had as a young player and, basically taking over for Joe mid-season. And I happened to be it's not a beneficiary. I wasn't a beneficiary of that Sunday. Just like I wasn't of Joe's first game as a starter back in 2008. So I've seen it all. But, I just think that's the expectations of the Ravens fans, not just in Baltimore, but across the country. The only thing he hasn't done is get in the Super Bowl and win it. And so that's the thing that I think, for Lamar, he's just you got to be able to get that done. And that's what his quest is, and every time I see him speak about it now, I think he understands that, the expectations, it's different than if you're the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's, let's call a spade, as they say it, but it is just different expectations as you go throughout the National Football League. And he's played at such a high level, and that's the only thing he's got to achieve. I mean, it's no different than Josh Allen in Buffalo. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
no doubt. They're both, and it's intense, right? Like, I got to imagine that weight is significant.
It is. It's intense, and Joe Burrow has been to the Super Bowl, so he gets a little bit of a pass. But he's when he's right, he's unbelievable. But when he's injured, it's hard for them to win, and that's that's part of life in the National Football League. Is your quarterback. He's the leader of your football team, and he also has to produce.
Marvin, you guys did the Rams already, and you did the
Yes.
NFC West. I wonder what you make of, and I don't think it's that we're crowning them as much as we are. I don't remember there being a year where maybe post like the Brady Patriots, we have given such a benefit, such a they're the team. They are sort of head and shoulders above everyone else. Are we going too far with the way that we're talking about the Rams and how loaded they are, and obviously our expectation that Aaron Donald's going to be there too?
They make the huge trade, and they get the guy who's been if not the MVP once, twice, I don't know how many times, but I mean, he puts it out there every Sunday and produces. Your quarterback, it comes back. They're not sure after the season what's going to happen with Matthew Stafford. He comes back. And they have a football team that really was so competitive and won close football games. And literally, they were the only people to put points up on Seattle on offense. And so there's just so much there to build upon, because they're still a young football team other than the quarterback position. And, I think they do. Les Snead and Sean together have done such a great job of building the roster and finding guys, when they've traded draft picks, now they're finding guys 4th, 5th, 6th round that become productive starters for them. And so they have a roster that's deep. And then you got that guy, hanging out there, Aaron Donald, working out with the guys on their days off.
Yep.
So, and the point that Sean made, he's only coming back if he feels like he can be the guy that he was when he left, or close to that. And that's a decision that, he's going to make, and they're going to welcome him with open arms. And now, do you slide the line over to Myles Garrett all the time, or do you got to then leave this other guy one-on-one inside? Come on, you can design some stuff with that. So that's the excitement of it. And I will say the other thing that impressed me about being there is we go out for walkthrough, and everybody's dressed the same.
Huh.
There was no individualization. Everybody was dressed the same. More than 2/3 of them had their cleats on, even though they're walking through. To me, as being a head coach, that's what you want for your football team.
They're bought in. Yeah.
Yes. Everybody is bought in. And so the details are being taken care of right now, and to me, that makes a difference.
Let me wrap with this, Marvin, because this is a really good thought that a listener named Dave just messaged me. He said, and maybe the answer is just results, but like we are looking at a new coaching staff in Baltimore, and not just Jesse Minter being a new head coach, but like Declan Doyle being a new offensive coordinator who's never called plays for it before. Besides just results, are there other things that we can watch for that might tell us about how they're adjusting to these roles, how, maybe what the buy-in is? Are there other things other than wins and losses that can tell us about how prepared these guys are for this first opportunity in their new assignments?
Yeah, I think the details of the football team, taking care of the football, the execution up front offensively, elimination of penalties. I think defensive tackling, not allowing explosive plays, winning early downs and then winning on third down, So, yeah, there's some things that that they're going to want to build upon as they go into things. There's no question about it. Lamar's had a few coaches and coordinators, and his ability to come together and those guys merge together to be able to make him keep him being a productive player, I think is really important, because he's had a number of different coordinators, since he's started his, starting in 2018.
Yeah.
So, so I think all that's really important, that, I was that first-time play caller too at one point. You're like,
it worked out okay.
Oh my gosh! I took my lumps now. Let me tell you now.
Sure.
I mean, we literally put Jacksonville in the playoffs.
I remember.
Trust
me, I remember.
Because those guys were playing down to their knees. After the game, we had nothing left.
Yeah.
We were spent.
The circumstances were a little bit different at that point, though.
Yeah, but we built a foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. We
built a foundation, and we continued to add to that foundation by adding Rod Woodson the next year, by adding Tony Saragusa, Mike McCreary,
yep.
And then obviously the draft picks we added throughout time. But, even the Super Bowl year on offense, okay, we add Sam Gash and, the big tight end from New England.
Ben Coates.
Ben Coates. And I remember telling Ozzie, the defense got better today because we got some first down makers on the other side of the ball.
That's a great thought. Wow.
And that's what it takes, but yeah, we were as I said, me and Ozzie laugh about it now, but we were the Zenith. We came out of the ashes, man.
Did you ever at that point? The crazy thought is, like, in the modern NFL, Marvin, I don't know if you would have been around by 2001, right? Like,
well, I got let go like everybody else, but Brian couldn't find anybody to replace me. So I left.
Stuck with you.
He tried.
Worked out really well.
He tried, because it was funny, because everybody that he had on his list would talk to me, say, hey, if you want to stay there, then don't take another job, because I was offered a couple other jobs and I turned down. But if you want to stay, a couple of the coaches that he was talking about said, hey, if I don't get this job, then I'm going to do this. So if you want to stay, just be patient.
Man, the best thing that ever happened to Brian, the best thing that ever happened to the Ravens is that it worked out.
Well, I appreciate Brian, more than I can ever talk about, because he never one day made me feel bad for what had gone on in the past. Man. You know what I mean? To be a holdover coach can be a tough situation. Like, when somebody comes in and says, what the hell? What's this for? Why are they doing it this way? Brian never did that. He was completely 100% supportive. And literally, he was the one who pushed that defense over the hill. When he came in one day and said, we would talk on Monday night, he would come in my office and we'd sit down and talk. We'd talk Tuesday about the game plan after we got finished on defense. He would come in and I would go through what was new or different. And he said, I want to talk to the defense tomorrow morning. And he spoke to the defense and he explained to them how he had prepared to coach against them the year before when he was with the Vikings, and what they thought that, how we played, and that sooner or later somebody would make a mistake and they would take advantage of it. And he literally said, you guys can keep sending 3 or 4 of you to the Pro Bowl and you play like individuals, or you can start playing like a defensive football team and we'll win a lot of games. Damn. And that was the catalyst, literally. Just hearing it from another voice other than myself, made a huge difference to those guys. Yes. And then the leadership of Rod Woodson and Ray Lewis, Rob Burnett, those guys up front took over And that was the difference.
I don't think I've ever heard that story before. All the years that we've talked, I don't know that I've ever heard that story before. That's awesome, Coach.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis, Inside Football, again, part of the Wingo Network, an incredible cast on that show. Would love to chat again as we get into the season. Always appreciate you, Coach. Thank you for spending the time with us today.
You're very welcome, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, sir. Marvin Lewis with us here on GCR. How about that? Everybody always says, right? Like Brian rode the defense to winning a Super Bowl. Marvin Lewis says, well, we wouldn't have been that defense without Brian. I've never heard him tell that story before. All the stories. That's really cool. All right. Qadry's going to join us later on. We're going to talk more about Jacoby Lane.
More about the 2000. Oh, okay.
No, not. Well, I mean, we could talk about that forever. No. I also realized the 30th anniversary of the first ever game in Ravens history is coming up.
What day did they play? I guess it was
September 1st. September 1st. It was back when they used to play Labor Day weekend. Which I'm afraid they're going to try to do again here in a couple years.
Is it that big of a deal? I mean, I guess, yeah. It's
I don't.
Kind of the start of college sports.
Exactly right. And for me, I also love tennis. So, like, I just want to have that weekend for me. College football, tennis, fantasy football drafts. To me, I've said a million times, it is the best.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, everyone have to move up their fantasy drafts.
Yeah. And the nice thing about doing it on Sundays, you don't have to go to work on Monday. Although, in our business, I usually do end up having to go to work on Monday. We're going to talk to Qadry about Jacoby Lane a little bit later on. When we come back in, if you didn't see what happened in Toronto last night, wild scene. We'll discuss that next. Glenn Clark Radio.
Don't fumble your fantasy football draft. Host your party at Sports and Social Inside Live Casino. We've got everything you need to make the night a winner with massive screens, cool drinks, great food, and Wi-Fi that won't drop the ball. Reserve your table by August 20th to enter our early draft bonus drawing. Draft like a pro at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
That's probably the biggest story. Yeah. Not that Zay Flowers returned to practice.
Well, your car is more
he's getting all that money.
He
He better be a practice.
It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in a car or truck crash, you probably know this is stressful. Medical bills, the insurance company giving you the runaround, you got to get your car fixed. You don't just need a lawyer, you need results. At Warnken LLC, we represent the injured across Maryland. Whether it's a car or truck crash case, medical malpractice, or any other serious personal injury, we fight for maximum compensation for you and maximum ease for you. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Warnken LLC has been voted best personal injury law firm in Maryland for a reason. For us, 443 Results isn't just a phone number, it's our mission. Get the advocate that you need. Call us today, 443 Results, or visit us online, warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4, available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR. This one was a doozy last night, and I'm going to make an ultimate point about it, but something happened in the Blue Jays-Red Sox game that has nothing to do, obviously, with the Orioles. It's still, to me, an issue that isn't good for baseball. If you're not familiar with what occurred, by the way, this took about 20 minutes, legitimately 20 minutes, in order to get figured out. But the crux of it, we have it courtesy of Sportsnet in Canada. Here, we'll let you see what happened. It's wild.
Richardson likely facing his last batter here in Cedar Rafaela, who's 2 for 3. This is in the air to center field. Bateman setting up. And the runner at first thought there were 2 outs. Throw the ball to first. This is going to be a double play. The runner at first, Sogard, didn't know how many outs there were. He was jogging around the bases. And it's a double play.
Okay, so it's simple as that, right? Like that you saw, 7th inning, 1st and 3rd, 1 out, fly ball to medium center field. Might have been able to get a run home, but dummy Sogard forgets how many outs there were. He takes off from first base, and they double him up. Now, you might have noticed in the background there that there were lots of people that were clearly confused about how many outs there were, including the runner at third base, who didn't tag up and just came home. So, inning over, 2-0, Blue Jays still in front, going to the bottom of the 7th. Right? Right? Well, not so much. You want to do are you doing the umpire? Is that what you want to do here? This. Somebody tweeted out, whenever you hear an umpire take a deep breath and say okay at the start of an announcement, you know you're in for something. And indeed, they were in for something when they got the explanation from the umpire about what had occurred here, because the score was not 2-0. Let him explain.
1 out.
Okay. So what we have here is we have a time play, meaning when the third out was made at first base with the runner not tagging up. The runner that was on third base also did not tag, but crossed home plate before the third out was made at first base.
The run's going to count.
So that is a time play. We are going to New York to do a rules check.
There is a timing
rules
rule.
check.
There's a chance that they're going to count this run from Seager.
So I can explain it. They're going to check to make sure that they know what the rule is. The way that I can explain it essentially is...
Well, and then you see... So I just cut it off. But, the pitcher and catcher also thought.
Everybody thinks there's... So, apparently the scoreboard in the stadium did say 1 out. So,
it did? Oh, okay.
I don't know, man.
I thought they said...
Oh, did somebody say it said 2 outs? Well, that might have something to do with it. But, so a couple of things here.
Or maybe it said 2 outs at one point, and then they put it back, maybe. And then
maybe that's what it was.
So everyone was looking, okay, 2 outs.
I don't know.
I
don't know all the details of this. What I know is what they're essentially saying is that out at first base is not a force out. Remember in the crazy game against the Tigers when Gunnar chose to go, like it was 1st and 3rd, 1 out in extra innings, and they were panicked, like, you got to come home. But he instead tried to turn the double play there and was able to do it, right? Well, that run doesn't count because it's a force out. Whenever there's a force out, the run to end the inning, the run can't score. This is not a force out, right? Like the play at first base is a tag. Like he didn't tag up. You're going back. You're checking the runner. You're getting the out. It's not a force out. So a run can score. What's awkward about it is, as the umpire pointed out, the runner at third clearly did not tag up either. But the rule is very wonky. Because the inning ended, They didn't throw the ball over to third base and just say, hey, that runner left early. If that had been the second out of the inning and they had counted the run, very simple. Toss the ball over to third base, challenge it. He left early. That's that. But the wonkiness of the rule is that when the inning ends, and it officially apparently ends when all of the infielders cross over out of fair territory. When that's done, the inning's over. There's nothing you can do. So when the infielders leave the infield, that's that. You can no longer challenge the runner leaving early at third base. Had the throw come in from the outfield to third base instead of first base, it would have been the third out. Because it went to first base instead of third base, that was the third out. Because what they really had to go check is to make sure that that runner had crossed the plate before. The Red Sox were essentially gifted a run they never should have had. But to be fair, if someone leaves third base early and you don't challenge and just nobody noticed that they had left early, then that run could score in any other circumstance too, right? If there's nobody out and a runner on third base to start an inning and somebody hits a fly ball and the silly goose on third base just leaves a step early before the ball is caught and nobody bothers to notice, that run shouldn't have counted either, but it's on you. Which leaves an interesting question to me. Apparently, by the way, it's even crazier. Like, the way the rule is actually written, for them to have challenged here, there would have been a phantom fourth out in the inning. They would have had to recorded 4 outs in order to make that run not count. And that, in this very unique circumstance, is a thing that exists. You can have 4 outs in an inning, as the MLB scoring changes account explained, that in this incredibly unique situation, there can be 4 outs in an inning. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about this, because ultimately it was adjudicated correctly, but does the rule make any sense? And really, I think there's a bigger question about if the burden on figuring out if a runner left early should be on the team. It's something that we've always kind of accepted as part of baseball. Hey, just challenge it. But why isn't the burden on, the guys whose job it is to call the games? It's sort of to me like asking the football coaches to officiate the games instead of having the officials officiate the games. I've never thought about it before because of the uniqueness of this. But why isn't it the job of the umpire to say, hey, by the way, that run doesn't count. He left early. Why does the team have to do that? Why do the players also have to officiate the games? We've never considered it, and I know that there's going to be, when inevitably I ask Griffin to put this on the internet, there's going to be a bunch of mouth breathers that say, that's just the way the baseball works. But why? Why? You're the umpire. Your job is to adjudicate what happened on the base paths. Why is it their job and not your job? Why can't the home plate umpire, who has nothing to do in that situation other than watch a runner at third base to see if that runner left early? Why? I get it, the third base umpire, you could say, needs to watch and make sure the ball was caught, all of those things. But why couldn't that home plate umpire also have the responsibility to say, hey, whoa, you left early. This doesn't count. This isn't a run. I will forever suggest that the adjudication of sporting contests should be the responsibility of the umpires, the referees, whatever it is in that particular sport, and not the player.
They've already got so much on their plate, though.
Like what?
Calling balls and strikes.
Right, but what is that umpire doing when that ball leaves that bat? What is the home plate umpire doing?
He's out to lunch. He's watching the game.
The players have things they need to do. The umpires do not. So this is my argument. We have accepted this as part of the sport. And it's nonsense. The umpire should be capable of saying, whoa, no, that's cute. You think you're coming home. You know what the rule is? The rule is you have to wait till the ball's caught, and you didn't do that. You're out. Baseball should fix that part of this and say, this is absurd. The rule requires you to wait until the ball is caught. You have broken the rule. We're not just going to let you have a freebie run for funsies. Ultimately, it didn't matter. The Blue Jays won the game 2-1, and so there's no real belly aching to be had from any of the parties involved. But this is nonsense. It's kind of poppycock from baseball that we've just allowed this to be part of the fabric of the game for this long and never considered how uniquely silly it is that the players themselves have to be responsible for getting the rules correct and not, the guys whose job it is to get the rules correct. Fix it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Now, we are all hot and bothered about one particular Ravens receiver. By the way, good news from Ravens practice today. Zay Flowers back on the practice field after that quad contusion on Saturday. It looked bad, it turns out. It was just he was going to be day-to-day, and Jesse Minter really meant it when he said day-to-day, because here we are just a couple of days later, and Zay Flowers is back on the practice field. There's one other Ravens receiver who everybody's talking about. That video courtesy of Jamison Hensley of ESPN. One other Ravens receiver everybody's talking about. Should we be jumping on the Jacoby Lane train? Joining us now, former Super Bowl champion Ravens wide receiver, WJZ 13 analyst, and just overall friend of the people, our buddy Qadry Ismail is back with us now here on GCR. Qadry, what's up, pal? How are you, my friends?
Doing well. Football season has arrived. What better time of the year it is?
All right, Qadry, how do we talk like adults about Jacoby Lane? Because I don't ever want to yuck someone's yum. I don't ever want to say, hey, don't be excited. As you point out, football's back. We just want something to be excited about, and there's not a game that matters for another month. But I still feel like, we're still talking about someone who's never played in a game before, was a third-round pick. Like, how do we have an eloquent version of this conversation about what this young man is doing in practice versus what our expectations should reasonably be?
So here's the thing. When you look at the practices in its totality, he has been building a strong resume to say, I can do this. What is this? Well, as a receiver, first thing is catching a ball. Second thing is, getting separation. Third thing is making contested catches. Fourth thing is making the big splash play. Fifth thing is, can you do a consistent job of blocking? The priority is lining up correctly and being able to do all those that I just listed. If you look at it, he's checked off those boxes, and I'm not going to say 10 out of 10 times, but I would say for a rookie, there's been times where he has done 8 out of 10. Maybe he has to improve, and it's still a 6 out of 10. But at no point in time do you see this deer in the headlights 1 out of 10 where it's like, man, this dude is not ready. So that's where I think for me, as I've seen it, he's grown in his ability to show us, the fan base, that, okay, you know what? I think he might be able to do this thing. So the next step is obviously coming up over the weekend when you're going to be going up against another team in a preseason game, and we'll see how that looks.
I think what you just said is really important to hear too, Qadry, because I know you're out there and you're watching it with an eye that many of us are not capable of having because, one, we didn't play at all, more or less the position at a high level. But what you just said there is that we're all seeing the splash plays, right? Like Twitter is seeing the incredible one-handed snags. We just shared one that the Ravens put out. They're seeing that. You're saying it goes beyond that with Jacoby Lane, that he looks the part just with his technique and what he's doing when he's not making splash plays.
Correct. So here's one thing. When he was in OTAs, you can see where he was kind of running and doing his thing. It's like, okay, we'll see how he improves. But they didn't have any one-on-one against a defensive back, so it was like, all right, no problem. When you see him in training camp, goes up against Marlon Humphrey. Marlon has seen pretty much the gamut of wide receivers. And the one-on-one route he wins on gets Marlon. Great. But then he comes back in the team period, and Marlon just literally rides him all the way down the field. And if I'm the quarterback, I ain't throwing it to you because you ain't get open. You got hemmed up. And now you kind of in the back of your mind like, ooh, that's interesting. I don't know. I know he made a great catch, but that was one-on-one. This right here, this is team period. He got hemmed up. How does that look? But then you see where he comes back again against the same defensive back, and he wins. And so you're like, oh, okay. So you learned. You didn't just stay the course and say, oh, I'm only a rookie. This is what is expected of me. No, he improved. So every time you see a challenge, you also see him improve off of said challenge. And there's a plethora of opportunities that he has improved upon when he was given it. And again, the biggest thing in my mind, the fact that you're going with the first group and you're running in the slot and or you're running on the outside and you're doing it with poise says an awful lot about how you're studying and how you're preparing to play. You're not lining up and looking over at a Bateman or Zay Flowers, or you're not looking back at the coach and like, hey, what do I got? You're not doing any of that. You're just going out there with confidence, lining up and ready to go. So that shows me that he's like, okay, cool. The game is not too big for me.
Super Bowl XXXV champion Qadry Ismail with us here on GCR. Qadry, we saw like the catch radius in college was obvious for Jacoby Lane. The questions were about his ability to get separation. You allude to, this sequence that you see that included at one point Marlon Humphrey being all over him. Acknowledging again, it's just training camp, but in watching him, what have you seen regarding his ability to just create separation in his matchups?
Yeah, so again, we'll go back to Marlon because then I think it was like 4 or 5 practices later, and so they are doing one-on-one again, and literally he just sticks his foot in the ground, gets off the line of scrimmage, but Marlon, for the most part, because he's a veteran and he knows, has him in great position. He's just a touch high, and he is inside of him. Well, Jacoby takes his time, gets his depth, gives him a move, and literally separates from him. And Marlon actually slips or falls. Jacoby makes the catch. And I kind of smile because for me as a receiver, that's like, darn near nirvana.
Wow.
And so you're like, okay, good. You did what you needed to do as a young receiver, and that's what you're looking for.
I feel like there's a broader conversation that I've been dealing with, Qadry, which is I'm so used to having covered like John Harbaugh for so long that one of my skepticisms about how much we've been hyping Jacoby Lane is right, but he's a 3rd-round pick. Is he really going to be given those types of opportunities? I guess what I've had to realize is, well, we don't know. When it's Jesse Minter and Declan Doyle making the decisions, we don't have a track record with those guys. Like, I guess it's twofold for me. Do you think it's possible that maybe in their mind they're saying, look, if Jacoby plays like this during camp in the preseason, it's not just that we're going to give him opportunities. Like, he could maybe even be competing to be the number 2 receiver on this team. And do you feel like you've seen the type of thing that maybe they should be thinking about him that way and not just limiting him to he was a mid-round pick?
Well, I mean, obviously, every coach has their kind of way of doing things and their system and all the things. I think the good coaches see talent, but they continue to cultivate it and they don't put unrealistic expectations on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to pump the brakes as far as the second receiver, and there's really clearly far and away the number 1 go-to guy, and that's obviously Zay Flowers. But outside of that, within this Declan system, what I've seen in camp is what I've seen from the Bears, what I've seen from the Saints. It's like, look, we know, if you do your job, you're going to get the ball. We're going to give you opportunities to get in position to have a quarterback get you the football. I've seen it clearly with Rashad Bateman. I've seen it with Tez Walker. I've seen him be creative and getting the ball to Zay, but outside of Zay, we're not talking about him. But I've also seen where, with the progression of the play call, we've also seen Jacoby be in that position to make the play, and he's done that. I think when it comes to this preseason, because they still got, the joint practices to evaluate, I think it's going to be a situation where you're going to have an opportunity to feature him to say, okay, what do you got? What can you do in these stress situations? If he continues to pass, which I think, so far so good, he should. And if Zay and Bate continue to progress, I think it's going to be a bunch of dudes that are going to be balling out. And then you got Zay Flowers, who's going to be the featured guy. And that's how I see this offense unfolding.
Qadry, I feel like what you just brought up is sort of, to me, the biggest storyline for the preseason games themselves is just trying for me to figure out how this group sort of falls into line behind, to your point, Zay, Bateman, and then at the tight end position, Mark Andrews, where it feels like there's a bunch of guys, but I'm just not sure yet, with maybe the exception now being Jacoby Lane, who looks like he has separated himself as among the wide receivers, but there's still a lot of time between now and the opener. Like, who's definitively got a role? Who might be fighting for a roster spot? Because, we were all spending most of the offseason talking about Tez Walker as someone that we were ready to see a whole lot more of, and I don't know that he's had a bad camp. I know everybody's been praising him for the most part. That to me is still fascinating, is how these two position groups sort of fall in line behind the couple of knowns that the Ravens have at the top.
So let me be crystal clear. Tez Walker is having a great camp. I think if anyone says otherwise, they're fooling themselves and they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah.
I think Rashad Bateman has had an outstanding camp himself, and it's just the fact that Bateman has been around and he has done what he's done. I think, again, he's going to flourish in Declan's offense. But I think, Tez, you'll be a fool to say, oh, well, Tez, we don't know if he, okay, shut the front door. You don't know what you're talking about. Tez is going to be in the mix. Now, bigger picture-wise, you said the tight end group. I'm not even sure who's going to do what in the tight end group, because no one really has, and that includes number 89, no one has really just said, hey, I'm elevating the level of play in this group. I've seen a lot of inconsistencies across the board from that entire group, which is very shocking, because I thought that group, of all the groups, would be the one that would be like, oh, yeah, we can count on that group. But who knows?
Wow. That's certainly something we're going to have to be watching for in these games. What else, as we shift from training camp to preseason games, what are the other questions that you still want to have answered before we get to week 1 in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I want to see Danny Pinter. I want to see how he progresses. It looks like, they're saying there's competition. Posick isn't the lock starter. So I'm curious to see what he looks like. I'm curious to see Adam Randall, what he's going to look like in the flow of the offense. I know that they're giving the backs a lot of opportunities to catch the ball out of the backfield as well as run the ball. I think defensively, you got your guys, obviously the Nate Wiggins of the world, but what about the Keon Martins of the world? How is he going to continue to look and progress? Jalen Hawkins, I mean, man, I'd be kind of nervous to run routes and do some things with him, because he's getting caught up in some of his aggressive play, but maybe perhaps that's something that you could see.
That's okay when there's another color on the field, right? When it's not Zay Flowers that you're talking about.
I mean, Zay Flowers, there's a couple other dudes that he was kind of like friendly firing, getting up against. But and then I think just special teams as a whole. I think Anthony Levine, co-cap, he has done a great job in the practices. You can just see that group looks intense, but I'd love to see just what it all looks like, put together. I think Easley is as advertised as a punter, but the group at large, the special teams group at large, that's where a lot of guys are going to make the team, and I'm just curious to see how that all going to translate.
Qadry, where's your confidence with Tyler Loop going into the year? It's not just the one miss that everybody thinks about. It's that, we just didn't see him kick a lot of long kicks last year. He didn't make many of the ones he tried. He didn't attempt a whole lot of them. The Ravens it didn't bring in serious competition for him. They clearly seem to be committed. I know he got off to a bit of a shaky start to camp, but has looked a lot better of late. Where is your confidence level going into the year?
Well, knowing what I know about his dedication and his mindset, I'm Team Loop. I don't see that it should be a doubt or sitting there and having a cause for concern. I think last year isn't in the rearview mirror for us as Ravens fans, but I think for him it is, and rightly so. I think that this coaching staff will do its job when it comes to the strategy of the kicks, as opposed to abandoning it. And I think, he will have a full confidence of being able to go out there and knowing that this is what they need to do to process to make the kick through the uprights.
Qadry Ismail, you want to remind everybody about missile training?
Yeah, missile training is where human movement and sports performance training meet. And missiletraining.com is where you can interact with me. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your sport. And if you are an individual, if you're a team, or if you're an older person looking for better opportunities to move well and fluid, missiletraining.com is where you can come and interact with me.
Hit him up at I am Qadry Ismail on Twitter, and you can get in touch with him that way. Qadry, always appreciate you, brother. Thanks for taking the time. Let's talk again soon, all right?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Thanks, man. Qadry Ismail with us here on GCR. I appreciate what Qadry is saying, because he's giving you the yes, it all is checking out. And I do think it's interesting that Qadry says, hey, and it's not just the splash plays. It's I'm watching him, and clearly no one that's out there that's in the media is more qualified than Qadry is to explain this. I'm watching just the way he lines up when the ball's not coming his way, what he's doing. And I'm telling you that 8 times out of 10, he's nailing it. Maybe more than that. And that is notable. And again, it's why, maybe some of us get a little carried away. And I say, is it possible he could be competing maybe even higher on the depth chart? We think going into the year, the top spot available on the depth chart is the third receiver, which we were defaulting to Tez Walker coming into training camp as being that third guy, right? Because he was an incumbent, and in the moments when he did get opportunities, he made the most of those opportunities. And so I say, is it possible that it's greater than that? And then Qadry's like, well, all right, let's pump the brakes on that. What he's doing is great. But let's pump the brakes on suggesting that, he could compete to take away Rashad Bateman's role. Which doesn't mean that if Jacoby Lane is as good as, everybody says he is, everybody who's out there is raving about him, that maybe down the road he couldn't be that guy. But Qadry is sort of saying, hey, for right now, let's settle down a little bit. Let's maybe keep it in our pants. Yes, everything that we're saying is correct, all of those things. But there's a pecking order, and he's just not there yet. I do think that's one of the, if you are choosing to watch preseason football games, I said this the other day when I was hosting Ravens All Access, if Jacoby Lane starts the game on Saturday night and they've got him out of there by late in the first quarter, that maybe tells you a lot.
What if Jesse Minter's a guy who Lamar Jackson plays the entire game?
Yeah, I'd be really surprised by that.
Derrick Henry getting fourth quarter
really
carries.
Stunned by that being the case. In fact, I believe Jesse Minter answered that question.
Oh, he did already
at some point. I don't think it was recent. I think that we were able to expect that he was going to be very similar in how he treated preseason games. And I know that somebody would say, well, Patrick Mahomes was out there playing in the preseason. That's fine. It's fine. Well, I don't know if he'll do that this year although I don't know that he can't, because apparently everybody's bionic at this point. It's very weird. That part of it to me is interesting. And again, I don't know that any the other thing, if Jacoby Lane isn't one of the first two this week, if the first two are like Tez Walker and Chris Moore that are lining up, and I guess they might not have two tight ends. So let's say it's Tez Walker, Chris Moore, and Rashad Bateman, who I do think should probably play a little bit in the preseason. I don't think that says definitively that he's not in that mix as much as it's the first preseason game. We're going to – those guys are veterans. You're rookies. We're going to – or if he's out there running around in the fourth quarter, that means that they clearly don't trust him. I don't think there's a lot of things that I don't think you can read into. If he's out there to start the game and out of it pretty quickly, I do think you can read into that. I think let's get these guys off the field is something you can read into. Now, I think that would be crazy to do that with a rookie wide receiver playing in his first preseason NFL game. But, I don't think that the Titans will have Carnell Tate in their first preseason game for very long. If I had to guess. I mean, he'll play because you want him to get the speed of, Venga Ioane, I think, will certainly be playing on Saturday night. But I don't think he'll play. I mean, maybe that's unique. Maybe they give him a full half because they want him just
to get comfortable.
Right. He might get the full first half. If they've got Jacoby Lane out of there by the start of the third quarter, I think that might tell you about what they feel. Now, it also might just say, hey, that was always anyone who's going to be on this team is going to be out by that point. I don't know. It's to me, that's worth that. If you're really going to spend your time this way, that is the type of thing that I think is a bit more worth watching than who makes a big catch or trying to oversell Haynes King in a final draft.
There's no way you can oversell Haynes King. He's the real deal.
All very excited about Haynes King. Your thoughts on my suggestion that we no longer challenge and that the umpires? You didn't really tell me how you feel about that.
Well, we had a guest waiting.
I know you're a baseball hardcore. I know. By the way, you point out a champion.
Yes,
right. You're a champion now.
Of baseball.
Didn't you guys win your championship?
Well, softball. That was softball.
Oh, that was softball? I thought that was baseball.
Yeah. Baseball's a tougher sport.
Son of a bitch. Well, I don't care what you think.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right. Well, I lost all my credentials.
Yeah, all of your credentials are gone. I no longer.
Sorry, it
have
was
any
baseball. It
concern
was
for
baseball.
how
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think. I thought that was a baseball. I thought that was what that was.
That was softball. We did make the playoffs in baseball.
I'm not even impressed now, to be honest.
Come on.
You. I don't even think
softball's hard too.
Boys playing softball. I'm so sure.
Men.
Yeah. Well,
we're men.
I've met you and your friends.
You've met I don't know, one or two of them maybe.
All of the Troys. You just keep coming out of the woodwork. Griffin shows up. He's like, "This is Troy, and this is Troy, and this is Troy." And
they're Sean's. They're
Sean.
You're doxing Troy now.
Sorry.
PFF Sean's.
Anyway,
this is PFF Sean 1.
Sorry. It's very hard to keep up with all your Troys and Sean's.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's I feel like in that situation, I feel like they were just kind of more so trying to verify.
No, it's not about the situation. They got it right. I know they did.
But they wanted
the
it was
rule.
obvious that the run scored before
this isn't
last
first. Night is not my concern. They got it right based on the rule. I no concern about what happened last night. I don't know why it took 20 minutes. It feels like.
Well, I guess they're trying to figure out why.
Well, you're the umpires. You should know what the rules are.
Or they're trying to figure out why 15 of the 18 players on the field.
Call back to New York and be like, "Hey, are we sure about the rules?" I'm talking about the rule itself. The rule itself to me is a flaw. It's a flaw in the game that.
Well, the players should know how many outs there are.
Again, different conversation. It's bizarre that in this scenario, if that had just not been the third out, if that had been the second out, there would be no problem here. You'd just be able to throw the ball over. In the uniqueness of it, I would say you should be able to put the players back out on the field and throw the ball over. That, I think, would be the first fix. And I didn't bring that up in the clip that I think is good for TikTok. But I do think that the first fix to this is absurd. It shouldn't be that this changes for the second. Now, somebody would say, hey, there's lots of things that change on the second and the third out, right? Like the force out. If you hit into a double play with nobody out and a run scores from third, the run counts. If you hit into it with, one out, then the run. I understand there's difference. But it's still absurd to gift someone a run they shouldn't have scored just by saying, well,
the Blue Jays screwed up. I mean,
you're doing last night versus last night, undoubtedly. That's the rule.
Okay.
I'm talking about the rule.
Okay, yeah, I think the rule's fine. Yeah.
Doofus. This is why you can't win baseball championships.
Yeah, you think so.
This is the reason.
I mean, the run scored before the third out. Since it wasn't a force out, so
I understand that.
The run scored before.
But we know that they can throw the ball over to third and just get the out.
Yeah, but they didn't do that.
We know. I understand. I'm acknowledging all of those things. Why should it be the player's job and not the job of the umpires?
Oh, so should the umpire have stepped in?
No, not last night.
Okay.
You're still thinking about it from the context of last night.
Well, that's because that's the most recent context. I can't.
My point.
It's such an extreme situation.
I can't believe I did a whole diatribe about this and you didn't understand what I was
talking
saying.
to Qadry for half of it.
My point is that it's illogical in any tag situation that the burden falls on the players on the field and not the guy whose job it is to adjudicate the game.
Okay, so
in any tag situation, if the umpire sees that the player has left third base first.
Oh, okay. So
I'm saying, or any base.
Okay, so
I'm saying the umpire should call that runner out and not have to say, well, gee, gosh, golly, I hope the players saw that. It's nonsense that we've ever made that part of the rules. We have 4 umpires. Why don't we just have the players call the balls and strikes too?
No, that is what we do in my league.
I understand that. You've got 4 umpires. Why is this unique thing the responsibility of the players and not the responsibility of the umpire? Make that make sense beyond just because it's what we've done.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's what we've done. It's what I'm comfortable with.
That's
yeah.
I mean, what you know. Because
yeah.
it's what you know, you just say, well,
I mean, yeah, you're supposed to, as the runner on third, you're supposed to tag up. I mean, that's...
I'm saying the burden falls on the defensive players.
Yeah.
It's on them to figure out if the runner left early or not. We have an umpire.
I mean, the catcher is also can see every single thing that's
Griffin,
going on.
I understand all those things. Why is it their responsibility and not the responsibility of the umpire?
I think
their job?
I think the umpires miss it too much.
So we just say the umpires aren't
yeah.
good enough, so we
Yeah.
have to have the players do it? Again, why not just ask them to call out or safe at first base?
I mean, I'm going from my experience again, and I've never played a game with 4 or 5 umpires on the field.
that.
So half the time they do miss it, and they can't see if a guy's left or not.
I agree with you. And when I played at lower levels, this is a sport that has 4 paid employees. Handsomely paid. Why have we accepted that the burden falls on the players? Because to be fair, let's be fair about this. If they throw over to third, then the umpire still has to have been paying attention,
right,
in order to get the call correct. So the umpire has to be watching.
Right. Yeah, he does.
He has to be watching. Why can't he make the call?
Well, because it's the rules.
That's silly.
I mean,
how do we not? Why am I screaming into the void instead of reasonable thinking people saying, "Oh yeah"? That is asinine.
I think it's because you said it, and
that's the problem.
Yeah.
If I say
it's the messenger,
it makes no sense that we have just accepted this as part of baseball. Yeah, we're gonna have the umpires do everything else. Except for this one thing.
Well, they don't call balls and strikes anymore.
And then the players have. Yeah, but the computers are doing it.
It's more fun this way. We get a funky play like this.
I'm okay with the computers handling whether a runner left early or not. I'm okay with that too. The way that we're going to do with balls and strikes. But the players shouldn't be the ones. We know that because we don't ask them to do it at any other point in the game.
Well, it's. I mean, that's yes, but you are The other team, the fielding team, should be watching if there's a runner on second, if there's a runner on first,
Because that's
when
what
they
the rules,
leave.
You're having two different they should be doing that because of what the rule currently states. That should be their responsibility. In a world where the rule doesn't state that, what does it make more sense? That the players have to do it or that the umpire has to do it?
I don't know. Both, I guess. And I guess that's the way it's currently set up, is that the fielding team, it's a way for the base runner to get an advantage.
This is actually a good question. If we wanted to really do devil's advocate, can you look up what the tag rule actually says in the Major League Baseball handbook? I do think that the wording of this is important, right? In making the point that I'm attempting to make. I think it's not his tag up rule, not the tag rule, because it's going to tell you what counts as a tag. Which we also don't know that because we watched a Rangers catcher maybe tag someone. We're not fully sure. You can't find it in the rule book? Oh man, what is the specific MLB rule about tagging up?
Legislating 509.
Mm-hmm.
A base runner.
This is important.
Yeah. A base runner must wait on their base until a batted fly ball is first touched by a fielder. If the ball is caught, the runner must tag their original base after the catch before attempting to advance to the next base.
See, this is important to me because if the rule was written specifically to say, we're putting the burden on the other team, you can do whatever you want. We've adjudicated it that way, right? Like, you can do whatever you want, but the way the rule is written, a base runner must retouch or tag their original base on a fly ball. The burden is on the runner. So if the runner leaves without going back and tagging up, I understand the argument of, in any other situation, they have the ability to go back. Right? That's what we're saying. Until the play's dead, they can go back. So that's the reason why it can't be on the umpire, is they're allowed to go back. Once the ball is caught, you could say that's why the burden has to be on the other team, because the runner has the ability to go back. And if you never attempt to get them out, they have all the time in the world. Until we determine that the play is dead, they have all the time in the world to go back. So that would be the best argument for why the burden has to be on the players and not on the umpires. In this unique situation where the play was declared dead, the runner did not meet the established criteria for tagging up. Correct?
Correct.
So why?
So the run shouldn't. So they're just.
What I'm saying is, I understand the rule. The rule is wonky. The rule was still adjudicated correctly.
Well, yeah, I'm saying you're
the
saying
concept of the
in
rule
no world this
should be that the umpire should say, no, it says very clearly a base runner must retouch their original base after a fly ball. He did not do that. The play is now dead. We're penalizing the fielders for the play being dead. But in the same way, why are we rewarding the runner for the play being dead? Because I can talk myself out of what I just said about the umpires by saying, hey, look, but when the play becomes dead, if you didn't tag up, the umpire should be able to say you didn't tag up. Whether there's 3 outs, 2 outs, 1 out, whatever. The umpire shouldn't just be waiting for the fielding team to say you broke the rule. The rule says you must do this. You didn't do it. You're out. When the play is alive, I can understand it being the burden of the defensive team, right? Like, you have to, because technically, if somehow, and I can't imagine what the scenario is, let's just say someone goes crashing into a wall, right?
Sure. He makes the catch.
Makes the catch, crashes into a wall, falls down on the ground. The runner has come all the way in from third base thinking that the ball wasn't going to be caught, could technically still get all the way back to third base because this guy's down on the ground and can't throw the ball, could still technically get all the way back to third base and come all the way back into home. There is some bizarro scenario where you could still do that. But once the play is deemed to be dead, how in the world is the umpire not allowed to say, we are going to allow you to benefit despite the fact that you broke the rule? How is that possible? It's possible because of this wonky rule that we put in regarding a fourth out. But that shouldn't exist. We shouldn't be holding the defense accountable and not the offense.
Well, the defense threw the wrong base.
Sorry, the fielding team versus the hitting team.
Got to throw to the right base. I mean,
again, why is the burden on them and not on the runner?
I mean, if he had tagged up, I assume he would have scored. I guess I don't know. Like,
we don't know.
Like, he runs all the way home. Yeah, in your situation, he runs all the way home, realizes, there was only 2 outs. He sprints back to third.
Mm-hmm.
Then I guess they do take the run off the board. Then if he
goes back to third, they definitely aren't going to score the run.
Yeah,
100%. I'm saying, I've managed to talk myself out because what shouldn't happen is immediately.
I don't think anything's going to change.
No, nothing's going to change because it doesn't happen frequently enough for it to be an issue. And because when we talk about it's a million things. It's like talking about a team with a losing record getting a home playoff spot where you're just like, I don't know, remember Beastquake? Like, no one ever wants to have it. No, they didn't.
They play in a division. The way it's set up is so you just want to go to a league.
An arbitrary group of 4 teams that you want to. No, I think that if you win your division, you should be allowed into the playoffs, no matter how bad you are. I think you should be allowed in. I don't think you should be rewarded based on the idea that you arbitrarily had a better record than 3 other teams. I mean, my God, like, what are we doing?
So it should be set up like, how's the NBA do it? The NBA does it weird. Their divisions don't matter though.
Yeah,
because they technically have.
They do technically have divisions, but I don't think there's
nothing.
The NHL divisions do matter.
Yeah.
Yes, divisions matter in the NHL.
But it didn't. I don't think it used to be more like the NBA.
It used to be, yes, just the top 8 teams in the conference. I am the opinion that it's the top 7 teams in each conference, with the exception of if someone won their division, they get the whatever spot
17,
it would be.
Okay, whatever, yeah.
Or if they had the 5th best record, they get the 5th seed. They just don't get gifted a home playoff game because they arbitrarily had a better record than 3 other terrible teams.
That's that's different. I mean, yeah, that's different because it does happen.
It
once a year
more frequently.
It happens once a year.
Not once a year, but
yeah, I mean, it feels like it does. I mean, obviously, it happened last year. Like,
yes,
with the
there
NFC
tends
West
to be a bad division that ends up getting a good home playoff.
Right, or at least, the NFC West has 2 teams that win 14 games or whatever,
and one's got to open the playoffs on the road while the Panthers get to host a playoff game. Right,
almost won.
Which is unjustifiable. But my point is, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Now, I've talked myself further through it. The way I said it originally is probably incorrect. It shouldn't just be that as soon as you notice that a runner left the bag early, you call him out, because that happens all the time. Like on a fly ball, you lead off of the base in case the ball is dropped, right? Like, the rule shouldn't just be that you immediately call them out. But if the play is dead, the burden shouldn't have simply been on the defensive or the fielding team. The team that broke the rule should not be rewarded for breaking the rule. There should be no way to reward them. The way the rule is written, you have the responsibility to go tag the base. If you didn't do it and the play is dead, you should be out.
Well, I don't think it needs to change, because
now the other argument would be that the umpires can never call the play dead.
Right. Okay. I mean,
you want to really want to have a
but they have it set up so as soon as all the fielders leave, then it is officially. I mean, if Rafa,
but in this unique
field,
circumstance, the umpires should be able to say the play can't be dead.
So even as 9 Red Sox players take the field,
you guys can do whatever you want. The play is not dead.
Well, but they have it in the rule book that as soon as
I understand that's anything that allows for a team to benefit from breaking the rule is not an acceptable rule.
Like, as long as Andres Jimenez just stayed in the field of play until someone in the Blue Jays dugout realized, tag, we can get a 4th out, run and touch third base too.
Yes. Or allow the runner to try to get back to third base. At some point, somebody in the
and the Red Sox guy runs out of the dugout, touches home plate.
We keep putting the burden on the fielding team instead of saying, hey, the guy that broke the rule, if somebody in the Red Sox dugout realizes it first and says, oh, crap, dude, you forgot to tag, and he's back in the dugout, and to your point, maybe he's down the hallway.
Well, if they're smart, I guess they probably should. They played it correctly. Maybe someone did realize, and like, hey, don't react.
Based on the
don't
rule,
react.
100% based on the rule, they did what, but the rule is bad. The rule allows a team
I don't think there's a good. I don't think there's a good rule. I don't think. You want the umpire to. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't think the umpire.
Why do you
because
not
I
want
think
the
that's
umpire
them
to adjudicate
inserting
the game?
themselves into.
What do you mean
into the play?
Themselves? They're telling you whether
because
or not
it's
you broke the rule.
It's a psychological thing. It's a mental thing. The
Why
two
don't they
things
just
are playing
play
against
chess
each
in the middle of the game?
That's essentially what it is.
That's Griffin. You want the umpire to know what the rule is and say, sorry, there's nothing I can do. I can't adjudicate the rules here.
Yeah.
That's bat-ass.
Okay.
That's nuts.
So what should the rule say? So the rule will say, because
the
timing is too weird. Like it could be like, is it immediate as soon as is the umpire supposed to like put his hand up so that way the fielding team knows that the guy on third base left early? Like,
I would absolutely do that. 100%. I would 100% say if the runner left early, the umpire has to, because you're giving an advantage to a team breaking a rule. That's what you're doing.
But then, then it just takes away the play. I don't know. I mean, it takes away the play completely because then you're still, if the center fielder comes up firing at home, and then the catcher or they see that the umpire threw his hand up, and then there's no. That's just kind of
if there's a
takes away the play.
Hang on, this is a better way of saying it. If there's a live base runner, right? If there's a runner between first and second base, all the players choose to leave the field. I know that sounds badass. Can they just decide, well, this runner can't get enough, we have to call it dead, this runner can't advance any further? Like, that shouldn't be a rule either, correct?
So there's less than 2 outs.
Right. I'm saying, if there's a scenario, we're going really deep.
I know.
I mean,
okay, so Sogard was on first.
No, you're still doing about last night.
Well, because that's the easiest example to use.
In a hypothetical scenario, right?
Why can't we just say last night's hypothetical?
Fine. We'll put Sogard on first.
I want Nick Sogard on first.
You're really excited about Sogard. Sogard's on first.
Rafael at the plate.
Right?
Rafael at the plate.
He's trying to decide if he can get to second base on whatever. For whatever reason, all of the players on the field just decide they're going to bolt off the field.
Which is kind of like what obviously not everyone.
Not because they're confused, because they've just decided to strategize.
Okay.
Here's a way that we can end this play and no one's allowed to advance. We all just run off the field because you said, hey, if they run off the field, the play's dead, right?
Sure.
So let's say pop out to like right field near and the center fielder is run over towards shallow right field, and runners hung up between first and second base.
How many outs are there?
Stop worrying about the outs.
It definitely matters. I'm trying to figure out.
There's
less than 2 outs. There's less than 2 outs.
Yes.
Okay.
You're saying that there should be nothing that shouldn't matter. That they can only call the play dead
Sogard
if it's the third out.
Like normal, he's going halfway to second,
right,
and making sure this ball is caught, and because if it drops, okay, and so that's caught for the second out. And
I'm saying in some bizarre world, they all run off the field.
So they all run off the field
just to make sure that nobody can get off. They're all close to the foul line, so they all just run off the field.
But Sogard knows in this situation he needs to go back to first because the ball's caught.
You're thinking too much about it, right? I'm saying that we shouldn't make the default for when a play is dead being the players all leaving the field. That shouldn't be what adjudicates the play being dead. If there's a live base runner, the play shouldn't be dead because the players.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying because in that they screwed themselves out of the fourth out opportunity.
You're still going back to last night. I'm saying generically.
I can't think generically. I don't think I'm smart enough.
That's part of the problem.
I don't think I'm smart enough.
Clearly.
But it'd be easier to just refer to last night because it happened immediately.
But I'm not trying to deal with
recent.
Last night is last night.
Yeah.
In general, the defense of what happened last night is, well, the play was dead. The players left the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we supposed to do? I'm saying the players leaving the field should not be allowed to just make any play dead. If there is a live base runner, that should be a live base runner no matter what the other players are doing. Period.
So teams should just so teams should just know to whoever got the last out last inning. As soon as we get what we think is the third out, right. Jimenez, he was the last out last inning. Jimenez stay on the field the entire time until, even as the Red Sox are warming up to make sure we didn't screw ourselves out of an out.
I don't think the rules again, that would be the argument for, like, if we're not willing to change this rule, here's what we have to change strategy-wise in order to for this 1 in a million time where something like this occurs.
And I think that's why this is all, because this is all 1 in a million.
Right.
Probably less.
That doesn't mean we can't fix the rule. That doesn't mean
I don't think there's anything to fix. I think I don't think there's anything to fix.
You think it's okay.
They've been doing this for 120 years.
You think it's okay that a team that cheats is able to benefit from it?
I mean, yeah, I don't think you should be banging a trash can and have a buzzer on your chest.
So you're okay. You're okay with a team that cheats being allowed to benefit from it?
How, are we referring to this situation?
I'm saying in this
Who
scenario,
cheated?
the Red Sox did not apply the rule. They did not do what the rule says they have to do in order to tag up.
Yeah, he made a mistake and they got lucky.
They cheated.
They got lucky.
They cheated.
They got lucky that the Blue Jays
What does the
screwed
rule
up
say?
too.
What does the rule say?
They screwed up, but the Blue Jays screwed up too, so they got lucky.
They're able to cheat and benefit.
That is not what the rule says.
The rule says
he didn't leave. No one ever is leaving third.
Did he
a
tag
split
up?
second early? I mean,
Did
you're
he
trying to
tag
leave.
up?
No, he didn't.
He cheated.
No, he did. That's not cheating.
Yes, it is.
You made a mistake. Even if he was trying to tag
You're
up,
trying to make a difference
and he
in
left,
what your
he left,
intent
he left
is.
by he left early by this
You're
much.
trying
That's
to make
not
a difference
cheating.
in intent. If that's what the rule says, well, how do we know that we don't award somebody first base if they hit the ball in foul territory? Because there's a rule that says it has to be fair, right? We have a rule.
Well, except for last night, because Pete Alonso fielded that ball in fair territory.
That is true. That is true.
And then they said
we have a rule. I looked at it again. I do think they got it right, but like my
you think
God,
it was foul?
I do think it was, but my God, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. We have a rule that says if you want to tag up, this is what you have to do. If we awarded somebody first base on a foul ball, that wouldn't be okay, correct? We would all know that.
Mm-hmm.
We'd say that's against the rules. You can't give them first base. That ball was foul.
Right, and then John Schneider's getting ejected,
I don't care what we can't do that. We awarded someone a base despite the fact that they broke the rule.
Okay.
You're okay with that being allowed.
I don't think it's comparable. I think it's like both base runners screwed up, and the Blue Jays screwed up too. Like I think the rule's fine. I think the rule is fine.
The rule is the problem. The rule is the problem because it allows for someone to benefit and someone to be penalized in that situation.
If you do it incorrectly, like the Blue Jays did last night.
The Red Sox also did it incorrectly.
That's right, and they got lucky. They got lucky.
You're saying that we should create scenarios where you don't have to.
It's like the first and third when Gunnar steals home and Holiday. They decided to throw down to second.
They didn't break a rule. No one broke a
rule.
Well,
it's like you're measuring. What do you want to like?
No. Breaking a rule is the problem. The rule is clear. You have to go back and tag up. That's what the rule says. It's not you get to decide. The rule allows for what happened last night. No one broke a rule in that spot. If the Twins wanted to, they could have thrown the ball home instead. They didn't want to. They were willing to trade and run for an out. Like, they made that decision.
Mm-hmm.
2 outs, technically, because it was a strikeout, too.
Yeah.
They made that choice. No one broke a rule. The Red Sox broke a rule, and they were rewarded for it. That can't ever be okay.
I mean, like, if the speed limit is 60 miles an hour and I go 61 and I get to my destination 5 seconds earlier, like...
You're saying that we should allow speeding? That's what it is?
Well, I mean, it's like, I think that's the way I'm looking at it. Like, what's the... Yeah, I'm going 65 and a 60 instead, and like...
You just want there to be no rules, no laws.
That maybe.
Well, then why is there a speed limit if we're not allowed to adjudicate it? If you got away with it, what you're saying is I got away with it. I broke it, but you're not arguing
that's kind of what I'm saying.
Did you break the law or not?
I mean, I guess technically, yeah.
You did.
I went 65 miles an hour, yeah.
The Red Sox broke the law, and we rewarded. Here's the other thing. You didn't get.
I think it's also
you weren't given $100. You might have avoided a $100 fine,
right?
But they didn't give you $100. They gave the Red Sox $100 for breaking the rule.
I got to work 5 minutes earlier.
It's different. You weren't rewarded for it. The Red Sox were rewarded for breaking the rule.
I think it is. I'm weighing, is a $100 fine worth going, 65?
So you're just saying it's okay to break rules.
Well,
that's what you're okay with breaking rules.
Yes. If I think I can get away with taking an extra step off of third base and tagging up, yeah, get away with it.
You didn't tag up.
Well,
you said and tagging up. They
right.
didn't
Well,
tag
no,
up. There was no tag.
You know what I mean? Like taking a step, like tagging up early. Leaving early. If I think
So
I can get
you're
away with
okay
leaving early,
rewarding
do it.
people for breaking the rules.
Yeah. But the Blue Jays should know and catch
Right.
that.
The umpire's not allowed to.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you. It's okay. One, it's okay that a team breaks the rule.
Yeah.
Two, the people whose job it is to adjudicate the rules are not allowed to be involved in adjudicating the rules. The only burden falls on the team. To make sure I have this right, the only burden is on the team that broke no rules.
I mean, I'm just so like okay, so
that's what you just said.
I'm trying to figure out like what's the point? Like who cares? Like why does the umpire need to step in? I mean, like
because
like,
why
again,
do we
like,
have umpires if they can't enforce the rules?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I think it's fine the way it is. So yeah, if I want to leave 3 steps early,
you're okay. It's okay to break
instead
the
of tagging
rules.
up.
We should allow that. And what other rules should we not be able to dismiss?
Yeah, speeding definitely.
No, I mean in baseball. What other baseball rules should we be able to do? Like if there's a
I think if I'm able to climb over the fence in time, like there's a grassy area in the batter's eye, and the ball is in the air for so long that I can climb over the fence, get
and
into the stands, and
even
catch
though
it, even though it's past like the home run line. I make
but
the
you
catch.
want to rewrite the rule for that to be the case.
I guess that because that's not the rule. Yeah. So yeah.
So you want to rewrite the rule.
Yeah.
So you don't want to break the rule.
No,
you
I
want
think
to rewrite the rule.
Okay, yeah, then rewrite.
You just want us to have the option.
Rewrite the
but
rule
in this
that,
scenario,
that you can tag up for that I can go 45 feet down the baseline.
What you want
and then score
is to rewrite the rule so that's you don't have to tag up.
No, I think the rules are fine. I'm saying the rules are fine.
You just asked
if I could change a rule, what I would change.
Right. You just said you're okay.
You said well, if I could change a rule, what rule would I change? And I said, I think the outfielder should be able
is
to.
what I said.
Okay.
What other rules are we allowed to just break?
None.
Okay.
No one broke a rule yesterday. No, they didn't.
He didn't.
The rule. They could have gotten the 4th out. You have the opportunity to get the guy out.
The way the rule
I didn't know the rule. I would have screwed up. I would have given up a run, and I would have screwed up.
The way the rule is written, it requires you to tag up. We just abandon that in this situation. We say, the hell with that. Forget that rule ever existed. You can do whatever you want. You can run naked if you'd like. You want to run around in the outfield a little bit? Go run around in the outfield.
You get a bonus out for if you're able to take your shirt off and make a catch.
We'll talk about that, right? Why not give them an extra run? It's okay to say this doesn't make sense.
I think it does make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
That someone benefits from one team is allowed to benefit from this and another isn't.
I mean, I guess we're lucky this didn't happen in the bottom of the 9th inning of a tied game.
If it involved the Orioles, we would be furious. We would be.
I think.
Furious.
Yeah, we'd be furious that Jackson Holiday screwed up and threw to first instead of 3rd. Like, yeah,
we could be furious about that too. We'd be furious about the rule because the rule is nonsense.
It's like we're
nonsense
furious
rule.
that Leody Taveras didn't dive in head first. Like
that again has nothing to do with rules. Has zero to do
right?
with
Yeah,
rules.
the players screwed up. The Blue Jays screwed up.
The
cost them a run. They cost them a run.
And the Red Sox screwed up, and we're rewarding them.
Yeah, they got lucky. They got lucky.
They
I don't think they're getting rewarded. I don't think they look at it. I don't think they look at it like, wow, we should try that again. We should try to.
I didn't say that.
We should try to make everyone think.
Did. But in this scenario, one team broke a rule and was rewarded. The other team didn't break any rules.
I think
penalized.
Again, I like it is. It's different than like it's very different than banging trash cans and having a camera.
I
set
didn't
up
say
in
it was
center
the same
field.
as banging trash cans.
You said cheating. You said the word cheating. You said the Red Sox cheated last night.
Yes, 100%.
They didn't cheat.
Not all cheating.
No, again, cheat implies intent. Like
it doesn't. We look up the definition of cheating now. We'll find out. Because if the definition of cheating implies intent, then we can come up with a different word. I'm not going to swear by it. This is the important stuff. I'm so proud of this segment.
Cheating means acting in a dishonest way to get what you want. To get what you want. I want.
They wanted to score a run.
They wanted to score a run, but I think they were assuming
the
they were going
rule
to score a run
says
by getting like a base hit.
The
in that
rule
situation.
says you need to
They
do
thought there were 2 outs.
The rule says you need to do this in order to score that run.
It breaks rules or trust in games, tests,
It's
money,
weird.
or romantic relationships.
Breaks rules, huh? It's almost like by definition, it's cheating. Really weird.
To deprive of something valuable by the use of deceit or fraud is the Webster definition.
You want to go? We got to go dictionary by dictionary now in order to try to find one.
Well, that was
that's
just
a little bit closer to what
Gemini.
you want
That was
it to
the
be.
Google Gemini one. I don't think that was. They were adding in different.
I'm pretty sure there are multiple definitions.
But once I got to it said romantic relationships, I was like, okay, well, this isn't necessarily applying to baseball.
You want to see if there's baseball cheat? You want to see if you can find that somehow? There's multiple.
Yeah, well, there's a
cheat.
definition of baseball cheat. Yeah, it's setting up a camera in center
To
field.
elude or thwart by or as if by outwitting. Your scenario is, hey, they're smarter than them. That's cheating.
No, I didn't say outwitting. Like they were secretly, like the Astros were secretly trying to.
We all know that's blatant cheating.
Right. The Red Sox didn't cheat. Why are you making me defend the Red Sox?
Well, you're just a huge Red Sox fan. That's what we've learned here. You just love the Red Sox.
No, I want to.
The rule is a problem.
I think
there should not be a rule that benefits a team that broke another rule and penalizes a team that broke no rules. That should not be the case. Period.
Why couldn't we get this umpire crew when the Orioles were when they were saying the Orioles were running at the baseline and stuff in Toronto? This crew got it right.
To be fair, they did. Ernie Clement did too. They just didn't get that one right. Wasn't that the same? Didn't we find out the umpire who reviewed the play on Friday night was the Ernie Clement
was
play
it really?
umpire?
I didn't know.
The person whose responsibility it was in New
York. When you talked about not watching games over the weekends, that was kind of
didn't you have like a boys' weekend or something?
Yeah, we did.
The hell do you guys do on boys' weekend? Sit around and talk about how it's okay to cheat? Try to convince these young ladies, hey, well, you should come back with us. We're okay with cheating.
Right. That's exactly because I leave third early.
That's what you lead. That's what you leave
I don't
with.
tag up.
Yeah.
That's my pickup line.
I'm a bad boy. Trying to get away with what I can get away with.
I think there's 2 outs when there's 1 out.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing over here.
They both made mistakes, and
one of them
one team was going to benefit.
One of them.
One team was going to benefit.
No, they didn't need to benefit. One team broke a rule. They broke a rule. Period.
Yeah.
And again, the best argument you can make is the play can't be dead. Somebody has to be responsible. I'm all for listening to it that way. The best argument you can make is there's no way the play cannot be dead if there is still a live base runner. We cannot, whatever the circumstances, whatever the players do, play can't be dead.
There's no way I'm making this into a clip. We've been talking about this for 45 minutes.
There's no way now. There's no way this is going to be a clip because we've gone way too far with it, but I'm proud of this segment. This segment is what you get here and nowhere else. This is what
And we accomplished nothing.
Well, because you're not willing to listen to reason.
Your reason doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes lots of sense.
I don't think the umpire should be like, whoa. Let's give the umpires whistles then. So he's like, he can blow his whistle and say, the play's dead. He left third early. Don't worry about throwing it home. Don't worry about throwing it to third.
No, I'm not saying live that should occur, 100%. I'm telling you that what I've come to as being the obvious answer is the play can't be
Okay,
dead.
so, all right. So the runner on third, they did the play right. It's a fly ball to center field. Everybody knew there was 1 out, and the center fielder comes up firing as hard as he can. The runner on third thinks he tags up, thinks he tagged up, but apparently he left a split second early. The umpire sees this. The throw home. It's a really close play. We really don't know if he's safe or out, but the umpire calls him safe. So the third base umpire then comes to the middle of the field, and
the third base umpire says
what if the ball got away, rolls to the backstop, the guy on second, the guy on first now advances to second, he advances to third, but they're still kicking the ball around, and then the guy from first scores.
We have the ability to say that didn't happen.
And then
we have plenty of
so the unplayed umpire, he's not the one watching the guy on third, so he calls this run safe too. So you're gonna say after all that dust settles. Yes. And we're getting ready for the next batter. So the third base umpire comes in.
If a ball were to bounce, like a batted ball were to bounce in left field, and we think it's in live play, right, and we allow it to go on, and then we go back and we look and we see that it actually hit a railing out of play, we have a mechanism via replay to say, nope, those guys got to go back. That's the way it works.
It's a ground rule. Okay.
Yeah, we have that mechanism exists. That's not hard. And in the same scenario, if you think that you were right, you can ask to be challenged. You go challenge the play. If you thought you left in time, then challenge it. And they'll go back and look and figure out if the umpire was right or you were right. And if you were right, then everything that happened afterwards, if it wasn't stopped, then that counts. If you were right. If you were wrong.
Okay, so the Blue Jays or the Red Sox, I guess, in this case, because they're the base running team, they would challenge the umpire's call ruling.
Yes. And say, no, we left in time. What are you talking about? We left in time. And if they allowed the play to continue. Now, if they stopped the play, then that's a different conversation. Then you can't reward after that. But if they allowed the play to continue, and then the other umpire said, actually, no, they screwed up. They left early. In this scenario, this hypothetical that we're creating, because we've gone way down the rabbit hole. Best hour I've ever done. If that's the case, then everything's good. Everything that happened happens. in this scenario, there's no way that it should be okay that one team breaks the rule. No way. That's nonsense. So just say to the umpires, hey, if you know that someone left early, then the play can't be dead. And if you've got to come up with a hand signal for that, to your point, then come up with a hand signal for that. Make it clear. This play is not dead. This is a live ball. And then you got to figure out why it's a live ball. And then somebody's got to be.
I just don't like that. I think that
rewarding the.
Because I like the hand signal thing. I think that's probably what they should. I don't know. I think it would be far worse if their bases are loaded, the ball gets away, and all 3 runs score on this. And then they have and because the guy on third left early, the umpire is able to say none of those 3 runs counted.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be bad. I think that'd be a mess.
Why would that be bad? Why is it bad to enforce the rules? Why is enforcing the rules?
I think you have 9 guys on both teams, and they all need to know what's going on.
How is the right fielder supposed to be able to tell what happened at third base?
Well, it's not necessarily the right fielder, but there's a catcher. I understand that. You do have your dug. Most teams do have
I'm in favor
dugout.
of all that, and that's why to me it's not about if you want to say, hey, this isn't pity for the Blue Jays. It's not, because again, you want to say you have a high baseball IQ. If you have a high baseball IQ, you throw that ball to third base.
I don't know who won last.
It's not the Blue Jays won. I said that 2-1. So thankfully, none of this really mattered. It's not pity for the Blue Jays. It's the rule. The rule is a problem. It allows a run to score that, by the rules of baseball, is not real. That's not a real run. There is no mechanism for allowing a run to score when you didn't tag up.
Now I am curious. I want to see how they put this in the play-by-play.
What they officially call it?
What they officially
I assume they have
say.
to call it a tag. That's what I assume.
Yeah,
so-and-so
tagged up from third.
I assume that's what they have to put it. Because what else could they possibly put it in as?
An error by...
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could you put it in as an error for?
Let's see. Boston. Nope. There was one error in the game. It was committed by Boston. So this was the 7th.
I assume that's what they have to call it, as a tag. But
all right. So Sogard reaches on a fielder's choice. Next play, sac fly double play. Umpire reviewed. Call on the field was overturned. So Cedar Rafael flies out on a sacrifice double play.
Mm-hmm.
Center fielder Brett Bateman throws to the second baseman Josh Smith, who throws to the first baseman Vladdy. Siegler scores, Sogard out at first.
Yeah, that's what it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the sense. Wait.
So it's a double play. They ruled it a double play.
There's still 2 outs on that play.
So an RBI. Right. So Rafael should have gotten an RBI.
Well, I guess, but that doesn't sound like they're calling it a sacrifice fly. It sounds like
it says it's sacrifice double play.
Sacrifice.
Yep.
Double
Rafael
play.
got an RBI.
Right.
Rafael got an RBI.
But that's what they have to, because there's no other mechanism for saying.
Well, because that's what happened. It was a sacrifice
run
double
scores
play.
by bizarre ass rule.
Well, it's like if
yes,
if it's a deep fly ball to center field, say Sogard actually was tagging up from first,
we have
throw him out at second.
That's just what we're going to call.
Yeah.
We're just going to call
the run on third scored before the tag at second.
Right. And the other way around is that's what we would call it if nobody noticed that a runner left third base early. If nobody noticed it, we just call it a sacrifice fly anyway. That's the way it would go. But we should have the ability to fix it. Because you broke the rule.
I don't think there's anything to be fixed. I think it was baseball. I think it was a baseball play.
Like baseball involves breaking rules. I get it.
All right. Well, you don't watch. You can watch something else.
What else? Should we make it maybe like on strike 3 if you just decide to take off for first? Like if you just decide. Like, it's cool sometimes if you just break the rules and run to first base anyway.
You watch strike 3 go right down the
middle. Yeah, right. And then maybe the catcher's
not
like, if the catcher throws it to third, right, to throw it around the horn, you're like, just take off and see what happens. We should just break more rules.
Well, we do have that rule. Yeah, the drop third strike.
Well, that's
if you swing it such a bad pitch, you get a chance to get the first.
That's a fact. We do have that rule in place. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit and tubular. I'm proud of this. I don't care what.
I'm not proud of this. I don't think we're
proud of this hour because you won't listen to reason.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Don't fumble your fantasy football draft. Host your party at Sports and Social Inside Live Casino. We've got everything you need to make a night a winner with massive screens, cool drinks, great food, and Wi-Fi that won't drop the ball. Reserve your table by August 20th to enter our early draft bonus drawing. Draft like a pro at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Dave LaMonaco profiles Orioles play-by-play voice Kevin Brown, looking at his rise as an amiable mainstay and one of the top voices in all of baseball. Also inside, Antonio Barbera looks at whether the championship window is narrowing for the Ravens veteran core, and our special travel section with a look at sports tourism options throughout Maryland for you and your family to enjoy this summer. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR. Joe.
Are we?
Yeah. Joe said, I can't believe I stuck through all of that. I actually was entertained by it, but I'm still not sure what I think.
That's because it's fine. The rule's fine.
That's the point. It's not fine. The rule is not fine.
It was an extreme situation.
Yes.
Half the people on the field forgot
okay
how many
for an
outs there
extreme
were.
situation to show that there's a flaw in the rules. That's okay. It's all right if the rules...
If it had been a 1-0 ball game and it became 1-1, I mean...
I don't care about that. It's not about the situation in the game. It's about a team that didn't play by the rules benefiting from that and another team being penalized. That's it. It is as cut and dry as that. Why is one team allowed to benefit from breaking a rule, but the other team is penalized that didn't break a rule? Why is that the case?
Travis Jones is back in practice today.
Great. I'm happy about that. Kyler Murray apparently is going to be the Vikings starter. I think we all assumed he was going to be the starter.
Poor guy. Do you want to talk about the 2018 Orioles return?
Oh, I did send that. Everybody was trading that around. Jeff Passan back in 2018 put out a tweet about the returns that the Orioles got from all of the trade deadline trades they made back in 2018. And, look at all that talent, huh? It's officially now all gone, is the point of why this is going around right now with Dean Kremer being shipped off. They got back 15 players. Brett Cumberland, Jonathan VR, Gene Carmona, Rylan Bannon, Juan Carlos Encarnacion, Yusniel Diaz, Breivik Valera, Luis Ortiz, Dean Kremer, Dylan Tate, Josh Rogers, Bruce Zimmerman, Cody Carroll, Evan Phillips, and Zach Pop, and $2.75 million worth of bonus pool money. And they have
Well, what did that bonus pool money become?
That's a great point. I don't know. Who did they sign in 2019? Go back and look at that.
Yeah, Orioles International Signing Class 2019.
Yeah. They've got nothing to show for it. Nothing. Now, look, Jonathan VR was momentarily helpful.
Oh, did he make? No, he didn't make an All-Star. No.
I don't think so. I don't believe so. Dean Kremer was momentarily plus helpful. Dylan Tate was momentarily helpful. That's what they have to show for it. Now, look, if you want to make the if you want to spin zone this, the spin zone would be this is why they needed to trade Adley now. The problem they were faced in 2018 was they just sat on their asses. They neither went all in to try to win with the players they had, nor did they appropriately decide before the season or the season before that, we're not going to do that. We're not extending these guys. We have to trade them now. If you want to spin zone this tweet that was getting so much attention from Orioles fans yesterday, from 8 years ago, I don't know whose job that was to dig that up. The spin zone is, this is why they traded Adley now. Because by trading Adley now, they were able to get a better return. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, for what it really reflects to people, and the reason why I was getting traded around was the idea that, like, this rebuild was a failure. And that's not finalized yet, because there are still pieces that were part of that rebuild that could still be helpful. Have been helpful, obviously, in the case of Gunnar Henderson.
So they did sign Jose Ramirez.
Not
in that international.
Jose Ramirez.
No, yeah, you're right. It is
some other Jose Ramirez.
You're right. This one, bats left-handed. The other one is a switch hitter.
Not that Jose Ramirez. You're still looking through all their international signings.
I don't recognize any
not
of these guys.
Finding anybody that can
add
to this.
Any of these guys. Was Luis Ortiz, was he the guy that was gambling with Emmanuel Clase?
I thought that was
Is that a different Ortiz?
I thought so. I don't know.
So he might have made the.
You're not coming up with anything.
No, I'm not coming.
You're
up
not
with
coming up
these
with
guys
anything.
don't. These guys are.
Well, it's
unfortunately
official.
not good. So yeah, no, nothing. They got nothing.
Again,
is Moises Chassé still in the organization? I remember he was somewhat a touted-ish prospect.
I vaguely remember that name, but I don't think so. I don't know. Whatever. The moral of the story is, we're really good at not getting to the point. We're very good at that. The moral of the story is, yes, that is depressing, but it's also what happens when you don't commit to one or the other. It's the thing that you always have. That every organization should operate this way. Do we have talented young players? Yes. Are we signing them? No. It's a flow chart, right? Do we have talented young players? No. We're effed. Yes. Are we signing them?
No.
No.
We're effed.
What are we doing, right? The no becomes, do you intend to go all in to win a World Series? Go all in. Surround them with incredibly high-level players to try to maximize that moment for winning a World Series. If the answer to that is no, because ownership won't allow it, if for any reason that answer is no, we're not going to go all in, then the answer must become, the next step on the flow chart has to be, trade those players when they have the highest value. Period. And that's no fun. That sucks. That's why the answer should be either sign them, or if they won't sign, try to go all in to win a World Series. The flow chart of what's happened here is problematic on every element, right? We knew. Everybody keeps looking back at where the Orioles were in 2020. We all knew where the Orioles were in 2023. Then what did they do? How did they go about improving? And undoubtedly, trading for a year of Corbin Burns was great. But it also seemed to be in part that they traded for a year of Corbin Burns because they were going to not have Kyle Bradish. They didn't try to add to it. They just tried to make up for something else. And I get, obviously, Corbin Burns, an upgrade over Cobb Radish. Nobody's arguing about that.
It did have, Radish had made like 6 starts?
In 24?
Yeah.
Then
That was when they looked
It wasn't Bradish. Who was it then that got hurt? Who got hurt?
Well, you were right, because Bradish missed the first 2 months.
That's
came
right,
back,
and then he came back. That's what it was. Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's the timing lined up that, we thought they were just going to have this super rotation, and then we found out, not the case. Not quite the case.
Yes.
They never went all in. They pussyfooted. They said, well, maybe some of these, we don't even have all the guys here yet. Instead of saying, we have this thing, let's do everything in our power to capitalize on it. Everything we can. Then the offseason between 2024 and 2025 will go down to me in history of dereliction of duty. The worst offseason I have ever seen a contending team with a talented young core put together. Unfathomable how much they punted that offseason. This year, of course, they signed Pete Alonso. That was at least a serious, at least they did one thing that was serious. Turned out pretty good, I think there's some luck in there too.
They got Ferret back.
Thank you. Great point. Like 2020, the 2024 to 2025 offseason is the most unfathomable offseason that I've ever seen. And then they just decided, we'll blame Brandon Hyde for it. We did nothing to improve this team. We said Charlie Morton, 100-year-old Charlie Morton, and 100-year-old Craig Kimbrell will be the difference. It was as deeply unserious as anything that I have ever seen. That's the manager's fault.
Actually, they didn't even have Kimbrell in 25, did they?
Was that 24?
Yeah, that was 24.
And who was it in 25? There was somebody else they signed. They signed Charlie Morton and who else?
O'Neill. Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, and Gary Sanchez. Sorry, you're absolutely right.
Who's the closer? Do they even have a closer?
Felix was healthy again.
Yeah,
he was.
I guess
He was healthy again.
But that couldn't have been the solution.
Well, I mean, it's Felix
I guess
Bautista.
in hindsight, sure, but he was coming off the shoulder and an elbow thing, so
I might have goofed on the other part, but I stand by the Charlie Morton,
Tomo Sugano, Andrew Kittredge.
Tomo Sugano, Andrew Kittredge, and Tyler. That was going to be how a team that had fallen apart in the second half of the season before, but still had young talent, was going to be able to get over the hump.
Corbin Martin.
Yeah, Corbin Martin.
Cooper Hummel.
Thank you.
Dylan Carlson.
Why are we just naming?
Ramon Laureano. He was helpful.
He was. Ironically.
Kyle Gibson was not helpful.
No. When did they sign Laureano?
I think that was in... That might have been like March?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that's when it was. Like that was... I'm trying to even figure out what the timing was on that. But that offseason, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe when because I remember they did.
It was a year to the day after Corbin Burns, February 4th.
Sanchez and O'Neill were like the same day, and you were like, "Oh man, they've started an off season, right?
Yeah.
Like if this is
the beginning,
right?
This is the tip of the iceberg.
This is a decent way to start an off season." And then you kept,
backup catcher, your fourth outfielder, maybe.
We started an off season, right? Like that was the start of an off season, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, and then they got Charlie Morton in January.
It's 1:05. We got to go. This is insane. We spent 40 minutes.
Moises Chaussee was sent to the Phillies in the Gregory Soto trade.
Think about that. They had 6 seconds of Gregory Soto. So.
And then we got Cameron Foster for Gregory
there
Soto
you go. And then
from the Mets. And Wellington Arsena,
sure.
who I guess is still in the organization.
Look at all that.
I don't know where he's at. He's currly in Del Mar.
If you missed Stan, Ross, and Luke talking Orioles.
Oh, he was traded for Blaze.
Bam! And here you are. We're piling on this trade. Look at that.
So basically, Manny Machado became Blaze Alexander.
Exactly right. Was the bonus money in the Machado trade, or was it in one of the other trades? Because they made other trades. The 15. Who else did they trade?
Let's just say yes.
Okay. Well, it's too much. It's 105. Got to go. If you missed Stan, Ross, and Luke, find it Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan shows brought to you by the Costas Inn with 2 great locations, Timonium, where I was on Friday, and Dundalk, as well as Warnken Law Real quick, this one was dicey last night. We did win. Go ahead, please.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, Good job, Norfolk.
Thank you. This one I nearly screwed up. 2026 Baseball Hall of Fame inductee Jeff Kent played for 6 different major league teams.
I believe it was season 12
Which
of Survivor.
Which 3 teams did he play
Might have been earlier.
for more than 3 seasons?
So what teams? How many teams did he play for?
6 different teams.
He played for 3 for
and
3
by the way,
plus.
I did go 6 for 6 on Jeff Kent teams, so I had that going
I don't know if
for
I'll
me.
go 2.
But I struggled with which were the 3.
San Francisco. God, I don't know. I don't think I'm not gonna. I wouldn't be able to name all 6 Jeff Kent teams.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to name all 6. You only have to get.
I know,
3
but
that he
like
played
I just
for
don't.
more
But
than-
like, I think I might be ending up naming a team here that he didn't even play.
Okay, that's gonna be rough.
Was he a Blue Jay?
He was.
Toronto.
Okay.
Why do I want to say Mets? F it. We'll just go with the first 3 teams that came to me here. We'll go Mets, Blue Jays, Giants.
All right, those are 3 Jeff Kent teams. See if you can name 3 more Jeff Kent teams.
No, I don't think so.
Give it a shot. You got 3.
I don't think he was an Oriole. Was he a Diamondback?
No, he was not a Diamondback.
I don't think. Let's lock in this.
No, just 2 more teams. See how you did on Jeff Kent on the whole.
I'll do the Patrick Stevens thing. Dodgers.
That's a good one. He played for the Dodgers.
Boom. And then I'll go with the East Coast Dodgers, the Yankees.
The Yankees. He never was a Yankee. So you went 4 for 6 overall on Jeff Kent teams, and you went 2 for 3 on 3+ year stops. The other ones, by the way, were the Astros and the Indians.
Darn.
Now, I thought the answers were Giants, Dodgers, Astros. I was ready to lock it in. And
I
then
got Astros, yeah.
our server was like, I don't know, man. I think he
That's cheating. You're yelling at me about cheating?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I had said all the teams. It's not like he, reminded me of a team that Jeff Kent played for. Our server was like, I don't know, man. I feel like he was a Met for a while. And I'm like, hell with it, right? What do I know? Let's go Mets.
Let's go
LGM, Turns out, correct. Giants, Dodgers, Mets. So we did go 3 for 3 on that one. The other one was, I don't think you're going to get this. I don't think there's any chance you're getting this one, but we'll see. Maybe you'll shock me. In the game of snooker, the number of red balls on the table at the start of a standard game, or in rugby, the number of players each team has on the field under normal circumstances.
Oh.
It's the same number.
15.
Look at you. I didn't know you
Rugby.
were rugby.
Rugby.
Do you do rugby?
Yeah, I called rugby for Mount St.
I
Mary's.
did not know that.
It is tough.
It's definitely.
It is tough.
There's no doubt.
They got me. So they had a former player.
Do you know all the rules?
I know enough.
Okay.
The first one I did, they had a former player.
To be fair, when I do women's
call it
lacrosse,
with me.
sometimes I don't know all the rules.
Yeah, they had a former player call it with me the first time. She was great. I mean,
Yeah.
she was perfect because she
Knew
what.
everything,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
was just basically asking questions.
Yeah, right. Smart.
Yeah,
That's a smart way to call a game.
Just on the air. And then they had me do another one, and I was by myself.
Oh boy.
I don't
Ooh,
think
boy.
we should
I can
probably
tell
burn.
you-
We might need to burn those.
The first time I did field hockey, I felt that way. I'm like, I don't know the lingo. I don't know the rules. I don't know any. And I just didn't do enough field hockey over the years. So even like when I couldn't get one of you guys to do a Stevenson field hockey game, and I was like, crap, I got to go do it. I would still go over there like, I'm just going to call the things that I know. Like, shot, save. Everything else. What do they
field
call
hockey.
it? What do they call the
corner?
an
no,
insert. Yeah, maybe
kickoff. It's a kickoff at the center. They call it a kickoff. There's
a
penalty
center,
shots.
A center. No, what?
Like the positions or
When there is a when it goes out, right? And they
go put the masks on and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
what
a
is
corner?
that?
That's a corner.
But it's not a corner.
I think they call it a corner kick.
They don't call it a corner kick.
I think
They don't call it a corner kick.
A corner
There's
insert.
something else.
I think it's an insert.
Something. Yeah. Well, you just said it was a corner kick. Now you're saying it's an insert. What is it?
I'm out of. I
Yeah.
haven't called field hockey since last October.
I know. None of us.
It's always been a year.
Yeah. Right. What are the plays in field
hockey
called?
corner play.
We sound
Yeah,
so
short.
stupid.
Yeah, penalty corner. Penalty corner
is what it's called.
Penalty
That is
corner.
what it's called. It's called a penalty corner.
Sounds so stupid. Don't let Stevenson see this.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't think we're back this year anyway for field hockey.
Don't let McDaniel see this.
Oh, you doing field hockey at McDaniel?
Yeah.
And you're still doing it? You didn't know what a penalty corner
Well,
was?
again, it's been a year.
I think I did 3 because the
Been a
rest of them I
year.
pawned off on Griffin, and apparently he had no idea what he was doing.
I know I knew what I was doing.
Calling it corner kick.
In the week
There's
leading
no
up.
kick.
In the
They
week
don't
leading
kick
up.
the ball Why would they call it a corner
In the
kick?
week leading up, I'll throw Big Ten Network on and watch some Maryland field hockey. And
Oh, God. All right. Well, I didn't know that you knew that about rugby, so I was wrong.
Boom.
I apologize.
Did you guys get it?
We did.
Because you knew snooker or because you knew...
Ironically, John Proctor knew snooker. I had no idea. But then he was confident after he saw the rugby one. I was like, yeah, that's right. All right, very good. What did you
got? The bonus money, the international bonus money, came in the Gaussman O'Day trade to Atlanta.
Oh, so Kevin Gaussman begat Blaise Alexander.
Yes,
That's
and
what we
O'Day.
did. Kevin Gaussman and O'Day begat.
Did
Blaise
we
Alexander.
when we traded? Did we trade Evan Phillips or we just cut him?
I don't. You're asking a lot, dog. Asking a lot.
Bruce Irvin, we just let Bruce Irvin just walk.
I think he might have just been.
He might have said, "I'm good."
I think he actually hung around in the minors for a little bit too, and
yeah, he might have got DFA'd once or twice. And what do I have? Oh, I have a good one.
Okay.
What's his face? Pete Alonso.
Yeah. Oh, what's his face? Jesus.
What's he done? He's played under 500 for the Orioles since he got here. 2 home run game on Sunday.
He did.
First is an Oriole.
Right.
Who has the most?
Oh.
Multi-home run games as an Oriole.
You know, it's funny what I was gonna say first. I feel like I'm easy over there. You all right? I'm going to say.
I don't know how many should I make you guess?
I'm gonna say Chris Davis.
Chris Davis is 4th.
Really?
Tied for 4th.
Well, that is nuts.
19
All
multi-home
right, then I'll go
run
back
games.
to who I wanted to say first. Eddie Murray.
He is 2nd.
Cal Ripken.
Cal Ripken has the most.
Yeah.
21 multi-home run games for Cal Ripken.
3rd.
Guy tied for 2nd with Eddie with 20.
Tied for 2nd with Eddie. Guy tied for 2nd with Eddie. How about?
Let's do the top 10.
I mean,
we'll do the top
it
11.
was just such a short stint, but he hit a lot of home runs. Frank Robinson.
Yes, Frank Robinson is 8th. Or he's not tied with.
The way you
Eddie.
said it, I
yeah,
thought.
Yeah, right. But he's in the top. We'll do the top 11 here because there's 11 guys with 12 or more multi-homer games in Orioles history.
How about top 11? Manny Machado.
Manny is tied with Chris Davis, 19 multi-homer games.
All right, so I got Davis, I got Machado, I got Cal, Eddie, Frank.
Manny had a 3-home run game?
Yeah, he definitely had a 3-home run game. It was in Baltimore, too. So those are the only 5 that I've gotten so far. And we know that...
yeah, you're missing the guy tied for 2nd.
Tied for 2nd.
Yes, you have 5. 5 of the 11.
Boog Powell?
Boog Powell has
Wow.
20 multi-home run games, tied with Eddie Murray, 2nd most.
He's really good.
In franchise history.
Brady Anderson.
Brady Anderson is 6th behind Manny and Chris Davis, 17 multi-homer games.
He didn't hit a lot of home runs, but I'll still say Brooks Robinson.
Brooks is not on
Yeah,
this.
he didn't hit a lot of home runs.
Brooks had 8.
How about, I'm just thinking longevity, like that would get him the opportunity. How about Rafael Palmeiro?
Palmeiro is right on the edge here. He is tied for 10th, 12 multi-homer games.
And Adam Jones.
Adam Jones tied with Rafa.
There's no Rafa.
That's literally his name. His name is Rafa. Rafa Palmeiro.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm missing 2.
Yeah.
How about Santander?
Anthony Santander had the same number as Frank Robinson. 16 multi-homer games.
Need one more.
All strictly 2 home run games.
How about Cedric Mullins?
No.
I'm really struggling with who the other one would be.
Said is outside the top 25. He has less than.
How about
less than 7?
Is it a catcher?
No. No, not a catcher. 14 multi-home run games.
Ken Singleton?
Not Ken.
Melvin Mora?
Not Melvin Mora. 7 for Melvin Mora. Singleton had less than 7.
Markakis?
Not Markakis.
Jay Gibbons?
He was on... Oh, no, he was not. He did not win a World Series with the Orioles.
Did not win Jim Gentile.
Jim Gentile.
Traded before. Yeah, I mean, he had some big numbers. He had some big, he had like a
46 homers in 1961 and 141 RBI.
Stan the fan favorite, I know. Like one of
Jim Gentile.
Oh yeah, Stan. I think Stan says he cried when Jim Gentile was traded.
Oh man,
young Stan the fan had his heart broken.
Let's go see what the return was for Jim Gentile. See what that turned.
It's 4:00 in the afternoon. I got a meeting I got to do. A tidbit was also brought to you by CountySports.zone. Everything you know about high school sports as we get ready for the start of fall sports season. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up tubular-wise tonight. The Orioles do try to even up this series against the Twins. Brandon Young on the mound against
the stopper.
Bailey. Yeah, the stopper. Against Bailey over 7:40 on Masson for that. That's it. They're playing a minor league game at the Field of Dreams before they do the Field of Dreams.
Are they
game,
airing that on
MLB Network?
Okay, cool.
It's at 7:30. The Iowa Cubs and the St. Paul Saints. If you want to watch, if the Orioles game gets that bad, you can maybe flip over and watch that. Everything else, GlennClarkRadio.com. Non-sports?
I guess there wasn't anything big. Nothing I remember.
Oh, great.
My thing's not loading now. So
Good. Good. That's helpful. This is the time. It's not like we're doing non-sports right now and tubular at the end of the show.
It took a lot. Sometimes it takes a while. Hard Knocks, an episode of that. And I know you're excited for the new Jose Mourinho documentary on Netflix.
Can't wait. Cannot.
Might be a book clubber. Respect.
How is that going to be a book clubber? Is there something I'm not aware of that occurred?
Give him his respect.
Yeah, but I'm just
respect.
Are we aware? Did something happen that there may be some sort of malfeasance I wasn't aware of?
I'm just saying, check it out. Yeah.
Thanks today to Qadry Ismail and to Marvin Lewis. We'll get all that up in the greatest hits section of the
50 Cent and Dakota Fanning will be on Fallon tonight.
No, I don't think so.
About Aaron Pierre and Magic Johnson.
Who's Aaron Pierre?
He's in the new Lantern show, the new Green Lantern show that James Gunn is directing on HBO.
No, for me.
He was in something else.
James Gunn did Peacemaker, right?
Yeah.
So that's possible.
Yeah.
That's good.
Apparently, people were not. He did Supergirl.
Was he in Peacemaker?
It doesn't look like
Aaron
it.
Pierre?
Yeah, he's one of the Green Lanterns, and I don't think he was in Peacemaker.
All right, never mind.
He was in Old.
Okay.
The Beach That Makes You Old.
I got nothing.
You didn't see that?
Oh, you know what I watched? I watched Send
It was an
Help.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I watched Send Help over the weekend.
He's done a lot of
It was.
Oh, apparently he's in Morning Show too.
It was. I had some issues with Send Help, but none of them were so significant that I didn't find myself saying I enjoyed the film. On the whole, I thought it was.
I kind of felt the same. I was like
there's some problems that I had.
It felt like a
with
January movie, which is when it came out, and that was.
But it was fine.
It was like the first movie I think I saw this year.
It was
I was
fine.
like,
it was a fine film. Sam Raimi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, very good. Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow on the program, anything?
Steve Weish.
Oh, Steve Weish, NFL Network.
Yeah.
He was out at Ravens training camp.
Talk about a big Orioles win.
Yeah, probably not. Thanks.
Just like I thought we were going to be.
Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, the Baltimore Orioles, the Costas Inn, your Baltimore area High's Dairy Stores, Leading Edge Auto Body, Warnken Law, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Cruise Maryland, CountySports.zone, the Maryland Department of Health, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.